it stops, no one knows. We're going head into the unknown. Na, 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 na.
Hey, everybody. Happy Saturday. Welcome back to Criminality, or if this is your first time here, welcome to Criminality. Today we are covering the deposition of Christopher Cecil, who I believe got promoted to lieutenant around the same time as the Delphi trial. So it is part of the case of the state of Indiana versus Richard Allen. This deposition took place May 15th of 2024. So I have my lovely friend Sleuthy Goosey, who is also up here with me. So hi, Sleuthy.
Hello, Teresa.
So let me say hi to you guys in chat, and we're going to get started. As always, we do. Sleuthy will be doing...
Why does Sweet Dude Shibby's got, it says, feels like my first time every time T, and then it says person blue holding pencil. What the fuck is that?
I don't know. Who's a person that's blue holding a pencil? I would have to go on to... It's obviously an emoji, but...
Person blue holding pencil.
You'd have to go look and see on YouTube what it looks like.
Oh, I can do that.
Person blue holding pencil.
I have to hurry.
Maybe they're taking notes. It's a person taking notes?
I don't
know.
A blue
person? It's a blue person that takes notes?
Oh my god, I'm on YouTube right now.
Oh, it's a YouTube special emoji, a person blue holding a pencil.
It is literally a blue person with a red shirt and a green hat holding a pencil. A number 2 pencil. It's exactly what it said it was.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not like it's one of mine. It's just it's a YouTubey one. So yeah, I don't know. It doesn't want to tell us though. So Sleuthy will be reading as the witness. Christopher Cecil. I will be the all-encompassed attorney. I think the majority of this one is Ajay for the defense. So we will let you guys know when we switch attorneys. Other than that, you guys remember Christopher Cecil is our infamous Google searcher from the trial, he was actually the second one to do extractions on Libby's phone. And I think second and third, if I remember correctly.
He did a bunch.
I'm like, he may have even done a fourth one right before trial, but I don't really remember 100%. But he is the one who was, during his testimony, Ajay was questioning about the inputs and why it would be going off at 4 o'clock in the morning, that something was being plugged in and something was being unplugged. And all the phone call or all the text messages and stuff that showed up when the phone was, what we believe to be turned back on at the 4 Cecil the Weasel. So he was the one who the judge gave the prosecution a break right at that time. And so he walked outside and Google searched, found the Apple forum, and then came back in and testified based on what the Apple forum was saying.
Which is like not even like an Apple employee or expert. Like it's just random people on the forum.
Right.
So this deposition is after the Franks memo and after the contempt stuff and the defense getting kicked off, but before the trial.
Yep. This is actually, it takes place when one of the trials was actually scheduled. They were supposed to be at trial in May, right?
Correct.
Right. So that's a reminder of who Christopher Cecil is. So let me say hi to you guys in chat real quick, and then we're going to get started. And I'll bring up the deposition. This one of the mods might be able to drop the link in the chat for the deposition if you guys want to read along. But other than that, it'll be up on the screen too. So hi, Ange. Hi, All Eyes. Also eating breakfast finally. It's like late in the day, but you can always have breakfast. Breakfast is like an all day kind of thing. Hi, Ange. Hi, Mark. Good to see you. What's up, CH? There's a person blue speaking microphone.
The one eating spaghetti.
You can't even see them all. What's up? What's up, Angel Ray? Hi, KO. Hi, Gray Space. What's up, Criminal Network? Hey, Hebby. I hope you're feeling good. Hi, Laura. See you, Mama. Shibby. Hi, Jamie. Chelsea. What's up, Lawyer's Daughter? Hi, Hess. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. What's up, Louise?
I have a hole in my pants.
Hopefully
Maybe
it's just
like a ball
in the knee or something.
No, it's like on my hip. It might be like a ball of yarn, though. Maybe.
Oh, what's up, Madge? Hey, baby Bill.
Oh, it's the tag. It was the tag underneath.
My God. Hi, Karen. Hi, True Crime Fangirl. Let me see who's down here. Hi, Johnny. Hi, from Germany. This is a Kinderwagen. I think that's the only thing I know in German. It's the Kinderwagen. My husband and my little one like to learn German, but I don't pick up on all of it. So I think that's the only thing I might know.
That's fun.
What's up, Miku's headphones? Hey, Amanda. Have to wait to get home to pop back on. Been catching up on the beginnings. Hadn't heard the Frank stuff before yesterday. Holy shit. That's a good one. Gotta go back.
Have we even read through that or no?
The Franks? Oh, I read that. That was when I got back into it. So I have like 6 episodes reading the Franks memo.
Oh, really? Why? I can't even remember.
Yeah, that was when I very first came back to Delphi. Okay, let me pull this up.
I don't even remember what we did before Delphi. I can't remember.
Covered other cases.
And then like people start talking about other things, and I'm like, hello? Richard Allen is still in prison.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
have you guys forgotten? Have you forgotten that Richard Allen is still in prison?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've been working on okay, so for anybody who wants to know, I have gotten a couple messages about the updates on the AI read-throughs. I have a new batch of AI read-throughs for trial transcripts that I should be releasing beginning of next week. Look at Amanda. Look at Amanda calling me out right now.
Oh.
I did. I really, really did, Amanda. I really, really did.
I don't remember what I said. But I hope I didn't say that.
I did. I thought she was going to be a good addition. I thought she was going to be really fair. I mean, like,
I can't think of a bigger piece of shit. But ended up being huge, a more large piece of shit.
I didn't know that then. This is like all the things that I had to say that were they're now recorded forever. Like once it's on the internet, it's there forever. That did not age well. No, it did not age
pretty quickly too, I feel like.
Yeah, I think it took a turn. Bob said it too in the early days. Yeah, he did. I was just like, poor T. I know, man. I'm like, can I go back and edit that? I'm gonna go edit it. Everyone had high expectations. Then that all failed. What else was I gonna say? Oh.
Not me. I don't think I said it unless somebody clipped me. Good luck finding it.
No, I did. I thought, okay, like everything I looked at from her history, I was like, okay. I was a huge fencer. And I had just high hopes that things were gonna go well. But man, no takebacks.
I'll never find it. Well, maybe I will. Yesterday, Andrea was on Nick's live. Was it yesterday? What day is today?
Saturday, honey. Saturday.
So yeah, I think it was okay. Yeah, so it was yesterday. And I asked the panel if they thought Rick was innocent.
You say Andrea Burkhart was on Nick Stero?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, Boogies.
And I'm going to find what she said.
Really, May. Hey, Trevor. I was going to message her about Morphew, because she's like all up in arms about what's going on with Morphew in the court hearings.
Is she?
You didn't follow Morphew, huh?
No. I did watch the thing today, though, but it was not on that.
So, he was arrested, and they went through all the, the pretrial hearings, preliminary hearing, and the YouTubers were told, or, news and YouTubers were told that none of it was allowed to be public.
Right.
And they made it public. That was the first time that he was charged. And everything was made public. YouTubers were streaming it, causing all kinds of chaos. And then it got locked down. Judge said, no more, we won't be streaming it. If you want to hear it, you got to come. And so the courthouse was very, very tiny. And they ended up setting up a big screen in the park. If you guys are familiar with Allegedly Innocent, previously Jewels of Thought, she was there. And they sent them to the park to watch it on a screen. You had to actually be there in person. So the judge there had already ruled, we're not going to do this anymore because you guys can't follow the simple rules of not streaming it when I'm telling you not to stream it. And then they ended up dropping all the charges because the DA was a fucking nightmare. I'm not going to get into the whole case, but the DA was a fucking nightmare, and all the charges ended up dropped. But obviously, they could still recharge him, which they did this last year. So he got recharged, and then they had the hearing, his first hearings, which were public was told not to stream it. YouTubers, some of the exact same ones who screwed it over the first time, started streaming it, and then they just had a hearing. A week or two ago, I don't know, my timeline's probably off, and somebody streamed it after the public was told not to. And then so Andrea is obviously following Barry Morphew, so she got super pissed at this one person for streaming it. So I wanted to tell her it's not just that one. It's not just that one. This has been a repetitive issue with a specific group of YouTubers who continue to stream after the judges in Colorado have said not to.
Yeah.
And they've gotten us kicked out of both trials publicly. So that's what I was saying. So anybody who's waiting on the AI read through of the trial transcripts, I do have a new batch that should be releasing at the beginning of next week. Like I told you guys, it's obviously much slower than I had anticipated it being when I very first started that project, but I'm not quitting on it. I just took it more at my speed. So I'll release a new batch of those. I have been working on putting together the case of Courtney Clenny out of Florida, a presentation for anybody who's not familiar with that case. So she goes to trial as of right now in December of this year. So we should be able to watch that one. And that's the one that's the next trial that I plan on watching. And then after that, it'll probably be Larry Maletti out of Chula Vista, California. So I'll put together something along those lines too. So if you're trying to figure out kind of where I'm going with what we're looking at on the channel, that's kind of where I'm at.
I need to find this. It's going to piss me off.
What are you looking for?
I'm just trying to find the timestamp where I asked. So how this got started is somebody mentioned that you used to be a fencer. Okay, got it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Hey, Labyrinth.
Pull this up so you can see their faces because it's actually really funny. And then we can read because we got a lot to read.
Where you got it? In my messenger?
Where
am I pulling it up from?
YouTube.
What am I pulling up?
Nick Stero.
Okay. Oh, that's what you were doing. That's right.
Yeah.
Like, what am I even pulling up? Okay, hold on.
And it's 10909. Ooh.
Hold on.
Oh, I got a cramp. Oh, I got a cramp like when you drink a lot of water while you're running.
Oh, that's not good. Okay, so Nick Stero 22 hours ago?
Yep. $109.09.
Okay, give me a second because I'm going to have to reshare the screen because I don't have the volume on.
I'll
And
just
then
say
you'll
it
have
made
to
me.
mute because you'll have an echo.
Oh yeah, 109.09. You'll know when to stop.
Okay.
How is that still happening?
I have no idea.
Like I thought it was a bug they'd fix.
Who on panel thinks Rick is innocent? Susie's question down here. Oh, you guys can't see it.
Yeah.
All right, where
and,
were we?
and Sleuthy Goosey, thank you for doing
Hey,
all of the collating and stuff, because with 6 kids and a short attention span,
I love Mo.
it's nice to have it all in one place. So thank you. You're doing yeoman's work. I appreciate it so much because it's like, wait, where is Laura Owens and Rick Allen and Young? Where are we supposed to be? I don't even know.
Yeah. We were supposed to talk about, but when we 3 get together, it kind of gets back to Delphi.
Yeah. It's
Well, yeah.
everything always leads back to Delphi.
Yeah. Now, Sleuthy asked which on the panel believes Rick Allen is innocent. Now, yeah, I do. But to make it easier to argue, I say not guilty because claiming innocence means we have a burden. We don't.
No, and I do think that
I believe affirmatively Rick Allen did not do it. And by that standard, I believe he's innocent. I believe he didn't do it.
I just don't, physicality wise, I don't see it being possible in the time allotted for it. I don't see any of this being possible. And, you know,
We don't really need to
makes sense to me.
hear all the
Now,
things.
if you were to say that Israel Keys had done this,
don't need all this?
if you were to say,
No. Oh my God, I'm not echoing. Oh my
You're
God,
not?
they fixed it. No, not to me. Am I echoing to anybody else?
No,
They fixed it.
you're not echoing to me anyway. I guess we'll see what chat has to say.
It only took months. But I liked that she was willing to like it was funny because like Nick wasn't looking at at the screen. So as soon as he said like who on the panel thinks Rick's innocent, it was cute how like both their arms went up, and it seemed like Nick was leading into like a let me explain myself before I say that I do, but then he realized that everybody on the
Andrew
panel
was
does.
like, let me just lay this out real quick. He did not do it. All right, let's just go with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no fence sitting for me. I am absolutely at the point where I think that he is an innocent man. And the more I continue to dig into stuff, the more I believe that.
I keep feeling like the more that I look at, the more that I read, and the more that like some piece of something will make me a little bit hesitant, and it just doesn't. And I just feel like that should not be happening. I and not just me, but we should feel good about putting somebody in prison for something like that. And I just don't like morally, intellectually, I just don't feel good about it.
Right. I agree.
And I feel like if I let it go and I start covering up other stuff and I forget about it and like just let him rot away and die, that like I'm part of the problem too. You know what I mean?
I agree with that too. If you don't continue to talk about it, then it just becomes like, yeah, who gives a shit that they put away this innocent guy? And I think we kind of talked about it when we were doing the CrimeCon thing, when people are like applauding Nick and Holman for the lies and the bullshit, and like, oh, you guys did such a great job, and it's like now they think, look at this, it's all okay because the public believes that we're the good guys, and nobody's questioning that they actually are corrupt and incompetent.
Right.
Yeah, the CrimeCon audience was just like, it was sad. It was just
Dude,
sad.
the amount of the applause were just so weird. I have to think that they like don't follow the case, didn't know what was being said really, and just were applauding because they saw the cues. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because if not, that's very scary to me. All right.
It was proven that he did factually live in Delphi.
Yeah, that's basically it. They didn't even, whatever. I can't even get into this right now.
Do you want to share what we learned or not what we learned
About what?
about Nick?
Are we talking about the tie? Oh. Oh.
Did you learn something about the tie?
No, I heard it's not been freed yet.
Still stuck there.
Free the tie.
Free the tie. Hashtag free the tie.
Okay. See, now you got to tell them. No, it's not about the tie, though, people. But we can tell you.
No.
But it is about Nick, I think, and Jerry.
Well, do you want me to?
Okay, so here's the thing.
You just tell him what you want to tell him. The poor tie, for real, for real.
We got, so after our live where we talked about Nick, if you remember, if you were here, we talked about like, oh yeah, they kissed. Okay, but so listen, so that plays into all this, okay?
Yes, it does. Why do you do that? I've got to pull that up for anybody who isn't on Twitter and hasn't seen that. People have to watch that.
Pull up the clip.
I'm gonna
that'll then lead me into this. What happened?
I'm gonna roll that beautiful bean footage. Hold on, let me find it.
No, we did not get a cease and desist. But wait,
I wouldn't be surprised if one does show up eventually. Let's just say that. Okay, so Jeremy on Twitter, dude, is like my fucking hero, but also like my nemesis at this point.
Oh, that's not what I meant.
This clip.
God. It's wrong. Oh God, I can't get it off the screen. I can't take it down, people. Get it off the screen, Teresa. That is not. Get it off the screen.
Oh, here, I'll pause it. There you go. Okay, what did you want to say?
The scream I scrubbed.
HCC.
Okay.
So
that is not what I was fucking talking about. Okay.
Oh, it's not? Oh shit! Sorry, I thought that's what you wanted me to play.
No. Oh God, no. So the part I was referring to was where we were like making fun of the fact that like Nick was like, we were like, is he married? Like, and I was like, oh, he's not married. I thought he had like an ex-wife. I thought, no, so he only has a baby mom and whatever, we moved on. And I was like, well, he's past his prime and whatnot. Okay. So fast forward a couple days and we got an anonymous gift in the mail.
Hi, Bob.
And it was a card with no name. And it said, just hold on.
It has names. It just doesn't have the name of the sender. So I don't know who sent it. But to whomever it was, thank you.
So it said Nick. Should I read the name?
Yeah, read the whole thing.
So the whole letter says, Nick is dating Brooke Yoder, Drew's sister. And it has no signature. Doesn't say who it's from. There's no return address. No nothing. And I immediately said to Teresa, it's got to be Nick. Or Jerry. Either Jerry is jealous because we were ripping on him. Or Nick was like,
They think I
don't get bitches? I don't have a girlfriend?
They think I'm lonely because of my tie?
So he sent this anonymous letter to us to let us know that he does get bitches.
Yes. So I got an anonymous letter stating that he is, in fact, dating Drew Yoder's sister, Brooke Yoder, which then
handwritten.
Handwritten. And It was handwritten. Yeah, handwritten, not in magazine. Because that would be fucking awesome. If somebody actually sent me an anonymous thing that was like cut out from magazines, I'd be like, fuck, they really love me. They took the time to do this.
She's like, who would send me this? Like, who would not just message me?
So, well,
And I'm
here's
like,
the
Jerry and
thing,
Nick.
though, that we figure out, like, as we're talking about this, and I'm not going to go too much into like his kids because I don't want to do that. But he has 2 kids. Their mom is, for anybody who's like well down into the Delphi, rabbit holes of the who's who and the what's what. Nick's never been married. He's never been married.
Right.
His ex, his children's mom, is Spencer Kingery's sister.
I feel threatened.
So just think, if you, like I said, for anybody who's been down the rabbit hole of the who's who of Delphi, Spencer Kingery is a canine cop.
So the moral of this story is that Nick makes it a habit of dating sisters of drug dog cops.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wonder why.
Right.
Oh, also, I have to know what others think of that photo. But first, we'll have to scribble out their faces, the girls' faces.
Oh yeah.
You guys,
I haven't taken the girls out, and I don't want to put them out there.
when
It's a cool mix, I guess. Yeah, I mean, just stay close, I guess.
When I saw this picture, I thought, who the fuck is that? The answer is it's Nick McClelland.
Nick was like, I can get chicks. Fuck these women who think I can't get chicks. They only marry in their circle.
All right, I'm sending it to you on Messenger so you can show them, because I can't show them, but I scribbled the girls' faces out.
Okay, let me see it.
But I saw this and I thought, and I was like, so we were looking on this girl. So the girl who's named in the anonymous note. We found her and we're looking, and I'm like, she don't even have a single picture of Nick on here, right? And I'm like scrolling, I'm like, this is a lie, because like Nick or Jerry must have sent this and didn't think we'd actually follow up. And then we get to like December, was it 2023? 2024? Dude, I scrolled straight past it because never in my life did I think that that was Nick McClelland until I looked a little closer. Can we take that blasphemy off the screen? Thank you, woman. Vile. It should be illegal. It should be a form of terrorism. Unacceptable. Oh, Jerry, he's probably pinging George right now. Was that his name, George? Look at this man. Look at this man. He looks so old. Look at the bags under his eyes. He looks like the oldest Waldo. He looks like they never found Waldo and he just rotted away because we couldn't find him.
It's like, is this Christmas or is this Halloween?
He does look decrepit.
Yeah, he's struggling. What is he? That's his Christmas shirt.
It's not like those are his Christmas jammies. Okay. I'm pretty sure he's wearing jeans. Like, that's an outfit. Like, he was like, I'm going to wear this nice outfit today on Christmas. And walked out of the house like that. Beetle claws. His eyes are so dead.
Yeah,
it does look cocaine-ish.
What if it's his girlfriend's ex that sent that to you? I have no idea. I have no idea who sent it. I'm pretty sure it is a weird.
Is nobody going to take any kind of accountability for it? I mean, we won't tell if you don't want anybody to know, but Teresa just was like, I don't know anybody who would like not want me to know that it was them. And I'm like, I do. Like, if it was Nick, I wouldn't want you to know. I had to stick up for myself, send you a letter, let you know.
It's like it's Jerry because he's jealous and he's like, leave Nick alone.
No, they didn't email it. They mailed it in the physical mail with no return address.
Yeah, mailed it.
But they put Oh, you can, and it does look like a man's handwriting, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. No idea. So unless somebody in chat like wants to say, hey, it was me, I don't even know if I could prove that it was them unless they tell me like what color it was written in. But other than that, I don't know. But anyway, so we did figure out that he is dating Yoder's sister, which we just thought is extremely ironic since he dated Kingery's sister. But you know, small town, small choices.
My
Pretty
trees-
sure I'm pretty sure they're all related in the back end anyway. So
It wasn't. Oh, it was postmarked from Indiana.
yes, it's postmarked from Indiana. She does. Ew. Does it look like Trust Me, Tim's juror hand? No, it does not. And I know people are thinking that that's that has to do with HCC, but I'm pretty sure I can prove who that juror was. Not HCC, HTC. I'm looking at Hoosier and thinking, yeah, sorry, did not mean to mix those two up. That is a far cry from each other.
I was wondering just what the fuck you were talking about. I'm
Yeah,
like,
don't.
What's that got to do with HCC?
It doesn't. It's HTC. Okay, we're half hour in. You want to go? You ready?
Big truck, tiny peen boss. Okay, is anybody gonna fucking ever answer me? Does Nick have a white pickup truck with a license plate on the front that says boss?
That's what
Can
was
somebody-
reported from people there, that he has the car that says boss on his license plate.
But is it a white truck? Is it a big
That
white
I
truck?
don't know.
It is?
Okay. Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, I've been asking that for literally forever, and like if there was a specific reason.
He bought a new truck. Yes.
Um,
I thought it was a car, but somebody's saying now that he bought a truck. Yes, it was seen at trial.
okay. Okay, that's important to me. Okay, thank you. Jesus. All right, let's read this stupid thing. If y'all didn't see, if you didn't see, I am Chris Cecil, forensic data Googler. Oh, shit. Okay.
More like a boss baby. Did anybody ever make all the AI from Karen Reed? Did anybody ever do that with all
Stop
the
it.
AI babies?
Stop it.
We need AI babies for Delphi.
Oh. Oh.
What did you think I was gonna say? Where
I
do you
don't
think
know,
I was
man.
going?
You've got me questioning your life choices here with showing that video. Nobody asked for that. Like, I don't want you suggesting
I feel
anyone
like
does
our
that.
trust has been broken. Like whatever I've done, you're like, I trust nothing that you're about to say.
I can't ever ask you to pull anything up again. I thought you could read my mind. I would never ask you to play that.
I thought that was the clip you wanted.
I literally like removed myself from that thread so I didn't have to see it anymore.
Oh my god, that's hilarious. And then here I am. I just play it over and over again for you. Okay, so Christopher Cecil, Mr. Google himself. Once again, the deposition was taken on May 15th, 2024. And Ajay is doing the questioning to begin with. So if I didn't get to say hi to you guys personally, thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. We're going to start reading. Sleuthy is the witness, Christopher Cecil. I will be the all-encompassing attorney, which is starting with Jennifer Ajay.
We're going to have to timestamp this later.
Sir, can you give us your full name, please?
Christopher D. Cecil.
May I refer to you as Chris?
Yes, ma'am.
You may refer to me as Jennifer, please.
Yes, ma'am, I will.
Or ma'am, have you given a deposition before?
Yes, I have.
You probably kind of know the ground rules. If you don't understand my questions, sometimes they're really great questions in my head, but by the time they come out of my mouth, they're just not such great questions. So if you don't understand something, please just let me know. I want to make sure you and I are communicating the same thoughts and that we're understanding each other. Can you tell me what you did to prepare for your deposition today?
I took a shower. I reviewed my examination.
When you say you reviewed your examination, what examination are you referring to?
I'm referring to my My apologies. I'm referring to the 2024 examination that I had done within the last couple of days.
And your 2024 examination of what?
This would be of item 2002, Liberty German's phone.
What software did you use to examine the phone in 2024?
Celebrate Magnet Axiom.
When did you do that?
Celebrate, I did that over the weekend, and Magnet, I did that on Monday.
Did you do anything else?
No. Besides review the data.
What data?
The data that gets produced from the reports?
The 2024 data?
Yes, ma'am.
What is your background in law enforcement?
I've been a state trooper for 20 years, going on 20 years.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that, sir?
I've been a state trooper for 20 years, going on 20 years.
What is your current position?
I'm a first sergeant.
In 2019, what was your position?
I was a sergeant. You're asking for rank, so you're asking for what I did at the time. So I want to make sure I understand what you're asking.
That's fine, we'll get there.
Okay.
Tell me, in 2019, what was your role within the Indiana State Police?
Digital forensic examiner.
As a digital forensic examiner, what did you do?
I'm sorry, I don't understand what you're asking.
Let's Google it, sir. What do you do? What does your day-to-day life look like as a digital forensic examiner?
I work on examinations for the state police. Whatever the next case is, I would do digital forensics. Sometimes I would go out on a search warrant to do crime scene forensics. I prepare reports, do analyses.
When you say digital forensics, what are you referring to?
Cell phone, computer, and then also we're talking about flash drives, hard drives, micro SD cards, SIM cards.
Is your role as a digital forensic investigator, other than extracting and analyzing data, do you discuss with the investigators what's going on in the case, what they're looking for, what they're needing?
I will ask questions about things that I'm finding, or I will ask questions concerning things that I have found. A lot of times that's documented in a written report if that's what you're asking.
And do you have any specialized training in digital forensics?
Yes.
What is that?
So I have a graduate certificate in computer forensics from the University of Central Florida. I've done computer forensics training that was provided by Guidance Software at the time. We were using a software called Encase. I went to different forensics courses provided by the National White Collar Crime Center. I have been to training provided by the United States Secret Service. I've been to training provided by Axiom, Magnet Axiom or Magnet Forensics. I should say Celebrate. And there were other hosts of vendors that I have gone to over the years. Blacklight or Black Bag was the vendor. Cortana Forensics, which had Lantern. Those are the ones that come to mind.
Any special training in Gray Key?
Gray Key, no.
And the Magnet Celebrate Blacklight?
Blacklight? Black Bag is the vendor. Blacklight is the software. I was getting confused. Oh, God.
Were those actual trainings, or were they kind of, hey, come look at what we've got, you can talk to us kind of thing?
No, those are actual trainings.
How many people work in the digital forensics unit in ISP?
You're asking in 2019 or in 2024?
Thank you. 2019.
In 2019, there were, I think, 10 examiners, counting myself.
Was anyone in charge in 2019 of that unit?
It would have, at the time, First Sergeant Brian Bunner, now Lieutenant Brian Bunner.
How did you originally become involved in the investigation of the deaths of Libby and Abby?
In 2019, we had the Gray Key for I think about a year, and we had successes in other cases. And I asked if I could take Liberty German's phone and put it on the gray key to see if there's anything that potentially digital forensics that we didn't know about.
Okay, hold on. I thought he didn't do gray key.
He literally said he did not do gray key.
Any special training in gray key? Gray
Nope.
key, no. So no training in gray key, which is what he wants to do on Libby's phone.
Mhm.
How does gray key differ? I mean, at that point, you had done a Celebrite extraction using method 1, 2, 3, correct? Or ISP had?
So I only knew of method 1 and 2. I did not know anything about method 3 until probably like 3 or 4 weeks ago.
You didn't know anything about a method 3 in general, or you didn't know anything about a method 3 extraction on Libby's phone?
I did not know that a method 3 extraction had been done on that phone.
In 2019, you knew that there was a method 1 and method 2 Celebrite, correct?
Yes.
Any other extractions or analysis?
Those are the only 2 that I knew of.
All right. There was an axiom, a magnet axiom extraction done as well, correct?
I'm not understanding what your question is.
All right. Are you familiar with magnet axiom?
Yes, ma'am.
Had that been utilized to analyze data or extract data on Libby's phone prior to your involvement in 2019?
I do not know.
What was it about gray key that made you think it might have been helpful in this matter?
With my understanding of method 1 and method 2, there's a limited amount of data that's pulled off an iPhone. And my experience with gray key, we would have a full file system extraction, which is essentially almost everything on the phone. So I knew that from other examinations in other cases that I've been involved in, that gray key could be a powerful tool for us to be able to potentially maybe solve the case. Maybe there's something that was overlooked that we didn't know about.
How does gray key differ from Celebrite?
In 2019 or 2024?
2019. Sorry, thank you.
So in 2019, Celebrate did not have the capability to do a full file system extraction. To my knowledge, they didn't have that capability that law enforcement could do it right there, or law enforcement could do it themselves. Let me clarify.
Hold on. I'm just trying to figure out how many times they actually extracted this phone then.
At least 5.
That's kind of what I'm gathering.
From start to finish, like from 2017 to 2024, like 5 times. Because there was like the Homeland Security one. There was there was 2 from Bunner, I think there was 2 from Bunner. And then Cecil did 2 or 3. There's a lot of them.
Am I on 7? Paper cosine.
Yes.
So it was the full system extraction?
That gray key did. Is that what you're asking?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now you've also recently done another Celebrite and magnet axiom extraction, correct?
No.
No. Okay, all right. What did you do over the weekend?
So I didn't do an extraction. I have the gray key extraction that was done in 2019, and I used that software to process the evidence again and end up creating new reports.
Okay, so what you did over the weekend and Monday, did that generate additional data?
Yes.
Okay, so 4 extractions in 2017, 2 to 3 in 2019, 1 in 2024, and Eldridge did a re-exam in 2024. So that's what I was trying to figure out.
Eldridge didn't take it from the phone, though.
Well, I don't think he did in 2024 either. I don't think that's what he's trying to say, is he didn't do an extraction.
Right, but the other ones,
He used the software to get updated info based on the 2019 extraction.
the other ones were pulled from the phone.
Pulled straight from the phone.
Because they had like already given it back, and then was like used, and then like that user's data was all on there. And that wouldn't happen if you were just using the data from the original copy.
Right. But at the beginning of this, I swear he said he did do the extraction on two different softwares.
He did. But now he's saying he didn't.
Now he's saying he didn't.
He's saying he just used the original data.
Grayspace says you can use Celebrate or Axiom to analyze what you get out of Gray Key, which I think is what he's saying. But okay. He's lying. Okay. Well, that makes it easier. Okay, so all right, what did you do over the weekend?
Where the fuck are you?
I don't know. Where the fuck am
I? Go down. 11.
So it was the full system
Okay, go to
extraction.
11. You're on
Okay.
11.
Now you've also recently done another Celebrate and Magnet Axiom extraction, correct?
Oh, yeah, you're right. We were down on 19.
Okay. That's fine. Whatever. We'll just keep reading it.
No.
All right. What did you do over the weekend?
So I didn't do an extraction. I have the Gray Key extraction that was done in 2019. And I used that software to process the evidence again and ended up creating new reports.
What you did over the weekend and Monday, did that generate additional data?
Yes.
What additional data did it generate?
I have a better understanding of what the phone was doing, and I have information concerning some location data that was on the phone that I did not know it existed in 2019.
What do you mean by you have a better understanding of what the phone was doing?
So the phone logs behavior. What I mean by behavior is, as you're walking around with your phone, Apple's tracking what you're doing. So when your light comes on your phone from walking around, the backlight, when it goes out, it's tracking data about you. And there were things that I just did not know existed because the science wasn't there. Software engineers back in 2018, 2019 did not have that capability to pull this information out of those databases. Now, 5 years later, with improvements in software, we can see, when I say we, anyone who's using Magnet or Celebrate can see these things.
Specifically, what things did you see?
So I can see behavior with the phones. So we knew about Apple Health data, walking on the trail or walking around with it. I could see what the app in focus is. And when I say app in focus, it's like what app is being looked at the time on the phone. Again, the backlight. I knew about when low power mode was engaged on the phone.
Anything else?
That's what comes to mind right now without looking at my reports.
So what additional data did you obtain from Apple Health?
Let me make sure I'm clear. It wasn't additional. It was a better understanding of what was going on in the Apple Health. I think in my written report, it's kind of, there's an error in my written report where I talk about movement going to a certain time, and I don't clarify what it is. Let me pull up my report.
I've got a written copy too that I'll mark as Defendant's Exhibit 1.
Thank you, ma'am.
Nick, Jim, do you need one? You want a written one?
Page 8, there's an error on my part regarding the steps and total value. And what Celebrate and Axiom do a better job at is identifying when the walking starts and when the walking ends. It does a better job of saying this many steps, this many meters, and then does a better job of illustrating to the person who's looking at it when this behavior happens. And you can see I made an error here. If you look at the second one, it says 414.38 meters at 1408. That doesn't make any sense.
I was wondering about that.
Right.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
Why that's parceled out?
Right. So a lot of what I did in 2019, the technology wasn't there. So I was doing a lot of like using scripts and things from Backlight to try to figure out what was going on. Now, with the software having gotten improvements in 2024, a lot of this is there. There's been a lot more research there. I'm not having to manually do a lot of this on my own. So I can see the information clearer. You will see that clearer when you open it, when you open up Magnet. You'll be able to see when the walking is started and when it ends. What Apple says is the approximate steps, the approximate meters that was walked, And then eventually later on, you'll see the elevation change and you'll see that type of information is logged.
So in terms of line 2, what exactly was your mistake on the health data?
If you look at the steps, it says it goes from February 13th, 2017 at 13/31/40, and it goes to 14/18/48. It should have gone, there should have been another line where it would have gone from 14/18 essentially to another time. I got that confused, and I realized that when I was preparing for this deposition.
Interesting. Okay. Okay, I thought I was following you. Maybe I'm not. On line 1 of your graph on page 8, are you saying that the 414.38 meters?
I'm actually confusing you. I apologize. So I'm going to point. This right here says 14/18/08. That should be 14/08/48, and then you would go down the next.
Stop a minute. You're talking about the first line of your data steps and distance. Device 1,682 steps, 707.24 meters. The end time there is 14:08/48.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry, I was confusing myself looking at it, but that is the error that I made.
Any other errors on that data?
On the Apple Health, no. That's what I know from here, and that's represented in the reports. It's a lot cleaner, a lot clearer in Magnet now with the 2024 reports.
Is there any additional health data in the Magnet or Celebrite recent data?
When? When are you asking? Like in the timeline?
So you've got 4 columns of information, 4 rows of information
Uh-huh.
on your report that's labeled Defendant's Exhibit 1.
Yes, ma'am.
And over the weekend and on Monday, you did additional analysis on the data, correct?
Right.
All right. And did that additional analysis provide any additional health data other than what's contained on Defendant's Exhibit 1?
Only on here. There's health data that happens after Brian Bunner gets it because he's walking around with it in 2017, which we knew about it then. But between here and when it's recovered by law enforcement, my understanding is this is it. This is the last Apple Health data.
And when you say, quote unquote, here, you're referring to what's contained in Defendant's Exhibit 1.
Yes.
So there's no additional health data in terms of sleep, heart rate, anything like that that's contained on the phone other than what's contained in Defendant's Exhibit 1.
No.
Is that correct?
Oh, sorry. You're correct.
That was a bad question. That's my fault, not yours. All right. Now you said a minute ago that you're using blacklight in 2019 as well.
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am.
So in 2019, you used gray key and blacklight. Anything else?
Gray key was done for extraction. Blacklight was the software that we used. Let me look at my report so I can tell you what all was done in 2019. Celebrate, Magnet Axiom. Those are the 3. Those are the 3. There is a SIM card.
That's 4, right?
If you're talking about creating reports, Blacklight, Celebrate, Magnet Axiom. Gray key is just a tool that's used for extracting. It's just an extractor. It just pulls the data off.
Gotcha. You started to say something else, and I think I very rudely interrupted you.
There was a software called SimCon. If you go to my very, very last page of my forensics examination report, not the very last page, my apologies, but if you go to page 12, you'll see a tool that's called SimCon. And SimCon was a tool that I used to just look at the SIM card, but I didn't generate a report. But I just note that I used that to look at the SIM card.
Okay. And Chris, I don't have the capability to get on here to use this disk. I don't have that. I don't have the software. I don't even have a cord to plug this hard drive into my computer. So if I look at this and have more questions, are you willing to come back for another deposition about what you did in the last week or any further future analysis?
Yes.
Yeah, 100%, Bob.
Mm-hmm.
This guy's extraction bullshit is a disaster.
And it fucked shit up on the phone.
Right.
Like it fucked up the data. All these people.
Fucks up the data the more that they're doing to it.
Yep.
Well, that's what I was trying to figure out. Like, so did he actually do any extraction in 2014, or is he just
No, he didn't do any extraction in
when
2014
it's not?
because no, he didn't do anything in 2014 because nothing happened.
Not 2014, 2024. Smart ass. Well, I'm live, baby. Hold on real quick. Tiny human alert.
Sure. I'm just saying, people, Teresa deserves to be shamed for that awful video she showed us. Oh, I saw Carrie, who's kind of new to us. If you haven't seen her write-ups on Twitter, you should. So I'm sorry, did you say Bunner was walking around with it while it was on, so it registered steps? Yep. Matter of fact, if I get on my iPad, I can share. Are you back?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, I just wanted to get Carrie's. I want to put Carrie's thing in the chat so that people can read her write-up things, her little news articles or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Whatever they are. Oh God, go away.
Okay.
Not you.
Okay.
Oh God, that's laggy.
What do you want me to pull up?
Nothing. I did it. I took care of it, Teresa.
You don't trust me?
You don't need to be going on Twitter. It's all done. All right.
Okay, the All Eyes Defense, the one showing the 205, 207, and 213 positions, me too. Did you post that on your channel, All Eyes? I'll have to look at it.
Whatever you just read is not what you have up there.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
So I said yes, I would do something for you. I would come back for another deposition.
I appreciate that. And in terms of future analysis, is there anything else that you plan on or might even foresee being helpful to do in terms of data on Liberty's phone?
I will be writing a supplemental report to document the findings.
To document the findings from the updated 2024 Celebrite and the Magnet?
Yes.
But other than what we talked about, the Apple Health data, the app in focus, and the low power, there's nothing additional that you found.
Location data.
And location data. Thank you. So 4 things.
There may be other things as we go along that I don't remember, but those are some of the key things that I remember.
Okay, so we talked about Apple Health. Is there anything else that you feel that we should know about in the Apple Health data that you found?
App in focus. What apps were being looked at? That's something else that you found additional. What the fuck? That's you.
That's me again.
Whoopsie.
What? App in focus, what apps are being looked at? That's something else that you found additional data on, right?
Yes. What frame are you asking about?
In 2024.
No, I guess let me ask again. Apps in focus, but what time frame? When is someone using the phone looking at certain apps? Because there's a lot of apps being looked at on the device. Is there a specific time frame that you're asking about?
Well, earlier you said you found additional information
Right.
in the last week about the app in focus.
Mm-hmm.
What additional data did you find that you didn't have earlier in 2019?
Again, I'm looking at a specific time period. I'm not looking at what happened before February 13th, 2017. I'm looking at a specific time frame. So that's why I'm asking. Are you asking that? What the
I'm
fuck?
asking, I'm prepared today to talk to you about 2019 because no one gave me your data that you did over the weekend.
Right.
So to the extent there's additional data that doesn't exist in what I already have, that's what I'm interested in. So if you only looked at February 13th, that's fine. I'm just trying to figure out what else you found out that I don't know sitting here today. Does that make sense?
Right. So I'm looking at a specific timeline of when I believe Liberty left to go to the trail. Presumably, Abby's with her. And I'm looking at what she's doing on the phone. I could see the app in focus. So when we talk about app in focus, only one app can be looked at one time. You can minimize apps. I think most of us here probably have iPhones and understand what that means. So the app in focus is the app that is of the attention of the user. I can't say it's Liberty. I can't say it's Kelsey. I can't say it's Abby.
Sure.
But I just know whoever has that phone predominantly the app in focus is Snapchat. What I can see at 1 or 2 occasions, Facebook is the app in focus. I do see where like the phone call app is in focus at least one. The SMS or the iMessage app is in focus at least once or twice. And then I see where Instagram was the app in focus at least once. But Snapchat is predominantly the app in focus from where she leaves the house until she gets to the Monon Trail and she's walking on the Monon Trail. And at point, the camera app is the app in focus. I take that back. It doesn't say the camera app is the app in focus, but I know the camera is used.
Okay. And it doesn't say that though.
Right, but
Interesting.
he knows that it has to have been used because of
they
the
don't
video.
find this stuff on Snapchat.
Right.
So, but it doesn't actually say that the camera app is ever actually the app
In focus.
in focus.
Mhm.
Where's Eye of Apophis? They'd love that. And you brought up a really good point, and maybe that will help us a little bit as we go forward. What is your understanding of the relevant time frame that you were focusing on or were to be focusing on?
I was told what time the girls went to the trail, and that was it. And then I knew about the video that Lieutenant Bunner had recovered. That's it. That is the time frame.
What is this dolphin thing? What
I
is
think he's
this
talking about the
dolphin?
porpoise. Is he talking about the porpoise?
There's been no less than 3 dolphin tweets about this topic. I am trying to decode them currently. I don't know what that is. So,
I think he's talking about habeas porpoise.
okay. And they're about this topic?
I reckon.
Okay. So
15.
So you were limiting your time frame to when the girls or when the phone left Liberty German's house or when it arrived at the Monon Trail. What was the beginning point of your focus?
The beginning point is looking at, well, in here on my report in 2019, starting right around 13:38, 1:38 p.m. When I was doing the 2024, I started back right around like 12:30, 1 o'clock, starting there because I wanted to confirm that she's really there at her house.
Okay, were you able to confirm that?
Yes.
Or confirm that the phone was there?
Yes.
You learn things as you go along, and I keep having to go back and say, no, not Libby, but the phone, right?
Right.
Now, you also said, I think, the third thing you were able to add was that you knew when the low power engaged on the phone.
Yes.
What did you learn about that?
So again, going back to we all have iPhones. When the iPhone hits right around 20%, your iPhone says, hey, do you want to engage low power mode? So what I know is, I never fucking click that. So what I know is, I know low power mode right around 20%, and that was earlier. This is the reason why I was going back to around like noon. And I can look at it here a little bit deeper, but earlier the phone had been put in low power mode. I don't know if it was done automatically by Apple, because sometimes Apple can do that. We'll put it in low power mode for you, or if the user did it. I just know that lower power mode was engaged, and it was never, I see no record where it was ever turned off.
When did that happen?
Good question. If I may, it's not clear in the actual report itself. I need to pull up the extraction to be able to give you that date and time.
How much is a little time?
Maybe 10 minutes?
All right, that's fine. Let's take a quick break, and you can go ahead if you don't mind. So they take a recess. I don't know how he would not be able to tell whether the user engaged a low power mode or not. That's interesting to me. Because you'd have to actually hit it to register on the phone that you turned it on. It says back then, low power mode made your screen only display certain info, go darker, and no longer give instant notifications. I had the same phone at the time. Oh, interesting. Maybe. Okay. Okay, so we're back from break. We're going to come back to the low power mode. I think the last thing you said was you were able to find over the weekend or on Monday additional location data.
There is some location data, yes.
Can you tell me about that?
So what I'm seeing is when whoever is using the phone, when they're on Snapchat, location data is generated, okay? And this location data is in what we call a wall file.
Okay, how does the phone generate the location data when it's using Snapchat?
So the phone has, in my pictures, you can see where whoever did this on the phone, they had it set up to where they're giving their location when they're using the app, right? I think all of us here again that have iPhones understand that. So in Snapchat, whenever a user uses Snapchat, because of the way Snapchat is designed, because you want your friends to know who you are and where you are, Snapchat, once you open the app, it will generate a GPS. At what point it generates the GPS point, I don't know. It just does. It just did.
Just doesn't. I'm no expert. Let me get Google involved here. Let me get Google involved.
I knew we were going to get it. It just does. I knew we were going to get it at some point. He is a trooper. He is the trooper, Paul.
I think he's Trooper Paul. I agree with that analysis.
All right, but it allows whoever your Snap friends are. So everyone here in the room, we're all Snap friends. I'm on Snapchat. You're going to know where I'm at. Just like I'm going to know where you are unless you have Snapchat closed, and it will have your last location where you are for the last 24 hours. Unless you open it back up, then it will re-update. So when the user is on Snapchat, it generates a GPS location. So what I can see here is this information is in a wall file, and I can see the GPS location, and then it has a horizontal degree of accuracy, but it's not specifically for Snapchat. There's other apps that can be utilizing this location within the phone, the iPhone, but specifically for this time frame, looking at Snapchat and through the camera app.
Okay, so did you find additional locations of the phone?
Carrie must not be in here because she missed that he just did. It just did. She left us, bitch, right after I shared your link.
Get back in here, Carrie. Cecil was
Went to write
friends with
another article.
Brad 213 on Snapchat.
All
Well,
right,
I mean, in fairness, all eyes, Cecil is friends with everybody, as he just said. We're all friends on Snapchat.
he knows where you are. He can see your location. What I can see is I know the phone starts at the house.
Yeah, it just did because I said so.
Ipsy Dixit.
Hmm.
Is that actually Allie of Defense Diaries? Allie of Defense Diaries. Is that you, Allie?
Do people still Snapchat? Yes. My two older kids are on Snapchat.
Oh, I don't like Snapchat people, but my best friend Snapchats me all the time.
Yeah. I have
like
Snapchat, but I don't do anything with it.
I just let my son on it sometimes because he likes to do the funny faces and shit, and I laugh my ass off at him, like the filters. All right. You're supposed to say So I said, what I can see is I know the phone. What?
I said mm-hmm.
Oh, because someone's on Snapchat. Shut up. Someone's on Snapchat, and then presumably when they're driving to the moon on dog. Quiet, dog. They're driving to the Monon Trail. They're on Snapchat. I can see a GPS plot. Now, here's the thing. It doesn't say that they are exactly right there. Again, there's that degree of horizontal accuracy, and Celebrate pulls that information out and tells you what the degree of accuracy is. Then I can see where they're walking on the trail. They're on Snapchat. It creates, again, I don't know when Snapchat is creating this. It just does. And then eventually, when you get to the end of the bridge, there's a GPS coordinate for the video that's done.
Okay, so while they're on the trail, what about on the bridge? Is there...
Again, on the bridge. It looks like they're on the bridge. When you pull this up in Celebrate, has a mapping feature. And then also you can pull those GPS coordinates out from Google Earth. And then you can actually see it a little bit better for yourself because you can pull in the terrain and you can actually see Earth, where here it's more like a road map on Celebrate. So it's kind of hard to differentiate foliage and where the trail is and where the wooden bridge is.
Can you generate the map using the Celebrate data?
How would you like to see it? Celebrate, or would you rather see it in Google Earth?
Google Earth. What was the degree of horizontal accuracy associated with these?
So for the ones for her house, all the way up to before we get to where the video is recorded on her camera, and we're talking about the video that's been blown all over the news, the bridge guy video, we'll call it, the horizontal accuracy was 5 meters. So essentially, if you put a point, they'll give you a GPS point, you put a 5-meter circle, so it's pretty good. Really good accuracy of where that person could be, where that car is, or where they are 5 meters. Once it gets to the trail, the last GPS point, so when the video is recorded, it geolocates off towards or kind of near the Delphi school. 4 seconds later, it comes right back to the trail, and the horizontal accuracy there is 100 meters as opposed to 5 meters.
Why
Hey,
is
babe.
it,
Hey, babe. Hey, Allie from Defense Diaries.
why is it 100 meters as opposed to 5?
Love how it's way
That's my
off.
question.
Love how it starts way off, right? All the way at the fucking school. And then when it goes to pinpoint the accuracy, it's only 100 meters, or it's all the way out to 100 meters as opposed to 5. I wonder if 100 meters from the end of the bridge where the phone, okay. I'm not saying I want you to pull up Google Earth right now, but make a mental note of this for later.
Okay.
The location of where the video is recorded, how far out is this 100-meter circle, and would it get them to the crime scene?
Okay. When we're done with this, I'll pull up Google Earth and we'll play on there because I have where it was. I think I saved that on my maps.
Okay,
It's
because like
how it
I don't know
works,
shit
Casey.
about meters. I know about
That's how it
yards.
works.
I was never taught the metric system, so I know there's 3 feet in a yard. So if it were yards, I could probably figure it out a little bit better. But I would just be curious to know if 100 meters was like how far from the end of the bridge 100 meters could be, because like that's a lot of places they could be at.
All I says he corrects it to 30 in a little bit, but that's still kind of crazy. Okay, so is that data from the video, the bridge guy video, if you will, was that generated using Snapchat, or how was that location data generated associated with the video?
Everything is up to Snapchat. Then the camera app or camera, I don't know. I'm not quite clear whether she actually unlocked the phone and went to the camera app, or if she went to the control panel where you can like slide up from the bottom and hit the camera. I'm not sure how the camera was activated, but someone activated the camera app. Presumably, we're all in this room going to agree it was Liberty because we hear her talking. So the camera app is activated. When it starts recording the video, a GPS coordinate is taken and it goes over here towards the wick. And it does that because Apple is saying, hey, I'm going to give you a GPS coordinate. It could do it for 2 different reasons. It could do it because it's pulling it from a database of locations that are familiar with the user, or it could be because it's using Wi-Fi and cell towers. Like, hey, we're just going to throw something out there. We think this is where you could be. But when video starts recording, within 4 seconds, it brings it back to the trail.
Where are you finding that on your data?
This is in the wall file.
You're in the wall file?
Yeah, this is a wall file
You said that the phone kind of pulled the location back
for accuracy.
for accuracy.
How many for accuracies do we have? It brings it back to the trail.
And where is it getting that location data from?
Satellites.
Okay, so for some reason it activated the GPS transponder.
Right. What Apple does is, and I can provide some white paper on Apple and how they create apps and how they tell app developers to create apps. It's all about trying to conserve your battery power. And what Apple does is they tell their developers, if you want to create an app and put it in the App Store, the big thing is to try not to use so much power. So the first thing they'll try to do is, if they don't need to use a lot of accuracy, like you're not creating like a Google map, because with Google Maps, you want accuracy because you want to be able to get from point A to point B, right? So you're going to use a lot of battery power. But if you're using this for words with friends, do you really need it? That's an app that's not really going to use a lot of battery power. I'm sure Apple's probably collecting something, right? But it's going to be very, very low information. It's not going to be precisely if we're all here playing Words with Friends here in Delphi. It may geolocate over to Lafayette or somewhere around there. So here in this specific case, here with this video, Apple is, because we're using their camera app, they're going to put a location nearby. They don't realize until you keep recording that, oh, we want to make this more precise. We're actually going to reach out to the satellites and make this a little bit more accurate. If there were additional pictures taken right after that moment, if none of this happened and they were just out streaming video and they started to take more pictures, the GPS would have gotten more accurate down to right there where they were at. We would know within probably a 5-meter degree of horizontal probability where they were. But because this is one continuous video, it starts out over here, I'm indicating, comes back to the trail, but within 100 meters. And I can pull that up and I can show you that as well if we need to.
Okay, I'm going to probably come back to that part above because it doesn't really make a lot of sense to me that he's saying it starts in Snapchat. The video starts in Snapchat, but then they activate the camera app.
It's almost like he's saying that even if she used the camera app, the normal camera, that somehow it's Snapchat that's doing the locating because
Snapchat's
just
still
did.
on the phone. Why wouldn't the camera be doing it?
Well, I don't know. If I were to look at my thing right now, like Snapchat, Safari, Twitter, Facebook, they all have permissions for my camera. So as soon as I open those, I'm assuming it activates the camera, whether I use it or not, right? What do you think?
Right, but that's why I was trying to figure out. So like Snapchat uses the camera, like it's allowed to use the camera, but I'm going to go back up for just a hot second. Sorry, guys. Before we played Word with Friends. He says, not quite clear whether she actually unlocked the phone. Okay, so here, everything is up to Snapchat. Then the camera app or camera, I don't know. I'm not quite clear whether she actually unlocked the phone and went to the camera app.
Oh, you don't have an iPhone.
Went to the, right, I don't have an iPhone.
Okay, so with an iPhone, you can unlock your phone and click on the camera and
Right.
use your camera.
Correct.
Or while your phone is still locked, you can swipe up and it'll pull up your camera.
Correct.
All you can do is take pictures and videos and it saves it to your thing. But like you can't like send it from there. Like you'd have to unlock it then to send it.
But why is everything is up to Snapchat here is what I'm trying to...
That I don't know. I get what he's saying about not knowing which way the camera, like whether she opened the app or she used it from the home screen, like the lock screen. But I don't know why
nothing
that would
should
be
have to do with Snapchat because either thing he says has nothing to do with Snapchat.
I don't know. I don't know why it would be going off of Snapchat unless that was running in the background, I guess.
I don't know. I got to use the restroom real quick. I'll be right back.
Mm-hmm. Can't open Snapchat from the lock. No, you cannot open Snapchat from the lock screen. Unless she recorded from Snapchat. Well, that would make sense, but she didn't. I have 0 cat ornaments. Do we know that? Yes. Well, yes. Like it's in, well, okay. So what I'll say is it's in her library, like the photos library. Is it called library? Let me see what it's called. It's called Photos. So, but it's in the Photos app and it's not in her Snapchat. And also Snapchat, I don't think back then Snapchat recorded that long. I think it was only 10 seconds back then. Yes, you can save photos and videos from Snapchat to your library, but there would still be a record of it in your, and you could you in 2018? But then that would suggest that she recorded this video, stopped recording, then went to her. Yeah, I don't think you could either, T-Dub. But that would mean that in the midst of like getting murdered, she went to her library in Snapchat and downloaded it to her Photos app. And I don't think that happened.
Did you figure it out?
What were we figuring out?
I don't know.
Nat, why exactly it matters is because we're trying to figure out if she was using her camera, not her Snapchat, then why is her Snapchat the one that's recording the location for a camera that's not its? Like, if you have Snapchat in the background, let's say, and you're recording from your camera app in your phone, is Snapchat still somehow picking up that location too?
Well, then you'd have two, because your video and your pictures are still going to have its own metadata, so it's still going to have locations based on that.
Right. Well, see, what he's talking about is the metadata from the video. So I don't know why he keeps going on about Snapchat.
That's my problem. And so why is he talking about everything is up to Snapchat? No, it isn't. If you give access to your camera and Snapchat app, the two apps are integrated to. But he says, I'm not clear whether she actually unlocked the phone and went to the camera app. So like unlock your phone, hit camera. Or if she did it from the control panel, which is where you just slide it from the bottom and hit camera. Neither one of those things has anything to do with Snapchat. Yeah, not up to, I don't know. That's weird to me. But I mean, the guy's an idiot, so I guess it is what it is. It is very word salady, and it becomes like convoluted, and it's like not. It should be very simple. Like, this is where the information came from. This is the information we received. This is how we received that information. Like that, it shouldn't be. There shouldn't be all this wish-washy, in my opinion. Okay, let me go back to where we were. Okay, so you just said, and I can pull that up and I can show you that as well if we need to. And I said, sure.
I'm going to pull up Google Earth for you. So I start at 12:56. And if you like, if you feel comfortable, you're more than welcome to come over here.
Yeah, I don't mind. I'm much more interested in getting information than the formalities of any of this.
Sure.
Do you mind if I kind of lean over here?
No, come on. I'm not going to bite. So you see that I've got the
smush Cecil like a little bug.
So you see that I've got the GPS coordinates here, and these came out of the wall file. And these are all from February 13th going all the way up here. And as we go along, I will play them out. So I'm going to go ahead and go to this first one. And Celebrate lets you basically take your locations and you can extract them out. And you can just open Google Earth and just rake that KML file right in there, in it. And it does it all for you. So it's not that hard.
It's not like me putting in all of the coordinates by hand.
Right. You don't have to. So presumably, again, I don't know anything about this case. I don't know the address where they were. I've never read the case report for this case. I'm assuming that this is where Liberty lives. So go up here. There's another point. So you can see there is right here. It's in the field. But then we get that 5-meter degree of radius, horizontal radius of where it would be. It's here.
Do these have times associated with them?
Yes, ma'am. So there you see February 13th, 2017 at 13:43:36 UTC -5.
Gotcha. So Latrell pops in and says, can we ask Chris to get a summary statement of what he's been doing and what this process is? Because I'm not sure the record caught it.
So I've got Google Earth open, and as I go through here, I'm hitting February 13th of 2017. I'm hitting certain dates of when Snapchat was used. And later on, I'll identify which one is the camera, but Snapchat, I believe is used. It's generating this GPS point that has a 5-meter horizontal degree of accuracy of where the car is going to be. The GPS point is not exactly where it is. There's 5 meters of horizontal probability within a circle of where it could be. This is pretty good location data for this. As I go through, I'm going to show the defense counsels where these are at.
What road is that?
That's 218.
So it looks like you're headed west on 218. Baldwin pops in and says, as you go through, I'm sorry to interrupt, could you just announce the time? And
Would you prefer I start all over and do that?
Baldwin says that might be a good idea. And Ajay says, yeah.
The first one I have here is February 13th, 2017. It's at 12:58:21, and it appears to be at a house. The second one is...
Baldwin said, I think that was 12:56, by the way.
I'm sorry, you're correct, Mr. Baldwin. 12:56:21.
Well, Ajay says, just call him Andy.
So the second one is at, knowing that all these are going to be February 13th, 13:40:13, and it goes up to the main road here. Looks like it's West County Road 500 North. The third point is 13:40:55, still on West County Road 500 North, but it's going what appears to be east. This is at 13:41:45. It goes south, and I'm not quite clear what this road is. Looks like County Road 275 West. At 13:42:12 is another GPS point plot. It comes down the same county road. At 13:43:03, we are going west on 218. At 13:43:36, again west on 218. At 13:44:23, still west on 218. 13:51:22, it shows the point is on what I believe to be the Monon Trail. This would be the first point at the Monon Trail. I can zoom down here on Google.
13:51?
13:51:22. At 14:05:08.
Can we get back to that last point real quick?
Yes, ma'am.
So at 13:51, it looks like they're on the trail. Do you know what degree of horizontal accuracy that has?
That's still going to be 5 meters. It changes when we get to the camera.
Makes sense.
Since we're here, I'll show you why I know what the degree of accuracy is. So there's 12:56:51, which is at the house. Horizontal is 5, so it's 5 meters. And when it stays at 5 meters, oh shit. And right now, and then it stays at 5 meters. And right now we're at 13:51:22. So let me go through here so you can see it's 5 meters. So 13:41:45 horizontal is 5. 13:42:12, 5. 13:43 is 5. 13:44:23 is 5. 13:51:22 is 5.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now we're going to go to 14:05:08, and this puts it right here. What looks like to be like on the bridge or near the bridge. On Google Earth, it kind of makes it look like it's something from the Melting Clocks, and I can't think of his name, but the famous painter.
I know what you're talking about. Anyway, at that point, at 14:05, you're past the water on the bridge.
Well, let's see what the degree of horizontal accuracy is. So at 14:05, it's 5. So it's going to be a 5 meter.
Close to, the pin is south of the water or southeast of the water.
Right.
Gotcha. Okay.
So at 14:07:22, there's another one. It looks like they're pretty close, and that one is horizontal of 5. The next one here, this is going to be the video. And you're going to see where it goes off over towards Wick. So you see that? That's at 14:13:51. So this is the Wick. I had to look it up on Google Maps and see what it is. And it also pops up here on Google Earth. Then at 14:13:55, it goes back over to the trail. So let me show you the degree of accuracy for those. So there is no degree of accuracy for the original point. And you can see here, Celebrate puts these little icons here, GPS.
They're moving.
Here is immediate location of video, but then, and it actually puts that information, that GPS, in the WAL file because the WAL file is documenting. This WAL file is a temporary file that is supporting another file called, sorry, that's actually in an SQLite database. It's another database, but this is a temporary file that's supporting the file called coreroutine.sqlite. SQLite WAL database. It's another database.
Can you spell that for her?
WAL is called WAL, and it means right ahead logging. SQLite is SQLite. It's a database that Apple and a lot of different cell phone, computer software developers, programmers use to keep track of data. So here they're keeping track of GPS. This is very volatile. It doesn't stay around very long. The reason we still have it is because it's still written in the WAL. The WAL is basically temporary. It gets written there, and then the shared memory file directs over to the actual database. And at some point, the database is going to be gone, but it can stay in the WAL file for a while until new data overwrites that WAL file.
So because the phone hasn't been used, that's why it's still in the temporary file?
Yes, but where this information is coming from, it's coming from a database called the Knowledge C. Knowledge C has to do with pattern of life analysis because Apple's wanting to learn everything about you because they're trying to improve your experience with Apple products. That's what this is all about. We're a customer, but we're also a user of their product. So they're trying to improve the experience. They're tracking all this information. This stuff is very volatile. What I mean is at some point, this stuff disappears. It's gone. It's erased. I don't know when it happens. It just does. So the actual original database that actually had this information in there is gone, but it's still in the WAL file as a temporary file. When it goes back to the trail, excuse me, I was incorrect. It's a 30-meter horizontal, not 100. It's 30. I've looked at this stuff a lot here in the last 48 hours. So it's a 30-meter degree of accuracy. So it could be anywhere within 30 meters is where it comes back to.
Is that the last location on the phone?
For the 13th, yes, because then it goes into February 16th. By this time, it's in law enforcement's hands.
Baldwin pops in and says, I was plotting those times. It seemed like, is there an explanation or some theory on why it went from 13:43 and then it was 8 minutes? It seemed like they got kind of slower or the data points were closer in time. And then there's a gap between 13:43 and when it hits the Monon Trail.
Remember, she's using Snapchat. So I think during that time, she's just not using Snapchat. I know she does at one point go to Instagram, but Instagram is not an application that she has designated to basically use the GPS.
Baldwin says, so when you're using the Snapchat, does it have to be, can it just be on your phone or do you actually have to be actively using it to collect those data points?
My understanding from what Snapchat has said is that it actually has to be, once you open it, boom, a GPS point is collected. At what point? I don't know. I don't know if it's immediate or sometime while you're sitting there messing with it, manipulating it, but it creates one. When it goes in the background, if you go to do something else or you just close your phone, it's maintaining your last GPS location until you go in and interact with Snapchat again.
Kind of like a historical ping?
I don't know a whole lot about historical pings.
Thank you for answering those. Okay, so I have a couple questions before we continue on with this then. So, hi, Julie.
What were your questions?
Yeah, hold on. So,
it just did.
it just does. Okay, so the GPS pops into Snapchat. Are they using the Snapchat GPS then for the video that's being recorded in the camera app?
Sounds like they're using the Snapchat GPS info for the car ride there. And then I don't know. I need to cut this tag out of here.
Immediate or sometime while you're sitting there messing with nipping, but it creates one. When it goes in the background, if you go to something else or you just close your phone, it just stays with your last GPS location. So then why would it, this is confusing to me, and I'm not a phone person, so you guys, as you all know, if you've listened to me ever before, I'm confused by this. If they're taking this Snapchat data and it's giving these locations, right? And they're like tracking it with the horizontal accuracy of 5 pretty much the whole time from the house to the bridge, okay?
Yeah.
And then so everything happening on the bridge until the video has the right GPS location with the 5 horizontal accuracy, 5 meter horizontal accuracy, until the video pops up, and then all of a sudden it shoots it all the way over to the WIC by the high school and brings it back.
Yes.
So why is everything else okay except for the video starting out over there?
I don't know. I have to Google it.
He said there was no Snapchat in the foreground at the time of the video. No camera vent unlocked. Yeah, nothing. Right. Well, that's why I'm like, I'm very confused on how everything else is with this 5 degree or 5 meter accuracy. As soon as that camera is open, which he tried to say was in Snapchat, but then changed it. I think he's just explaining it poorly. Your phone only records location data when you're using an app that you have allowed to use your location. So why does it go from this 5 meter accuracy on all of these points until the video is started and it shoots it all the way over to the WIC? Why does that happen? Is it relevant? Does it even matter? I guess that's like, it was airdropped by the bridge.
Bridge Bros.
Okay. Is Snapchat more accurate than the camera?
Seems like that's what he's saying, because it goes from 5 meters of horizontal accuracy with the Snapchat to suddenly with the camera, it's way off to the WIC. And then when it does hone in, it gives 30 meters of horizontal accuracy. So it sounds like he's saying that Snapchat is more accurate.
See, but that's crazy to me because he only reads my dumb whiffs aloud. I read all of them. I just think some are funnier. But if he's saying that Snapchat has the GPS, saying that I guess I don't know. I'm gonna have to look at it more because I'm just very confused on how that matters, or why it goes from 5 to 30, but no action on the camera is even taken. There's no camera opened. How do you take this video?
He says he doesn't. He said he doesn't know how she accessed the camera, but basically that he knows she had to have accessed it because he's aware of the video that was taken at 2:13.
Right. So then some people are saying because Snapchat has access to the camera and Snapchat is on there, but the video is found in the camera roll, not on Snapchat.
Like there's not even a cache for that in Snapchat.
So the video isn't from Snapchat. which is what he originally said that it was, and that's where the GPS comes from, but then he changes it to that video's camera app is not even opened, or he doesn't know how it was opened. The Snapchat saves it to the camera roll. But wouldn't it
But there would
be
still be a cache in
would it
Snapchat
still be in Snapchat?
for the time.
That's why I said I'm going to have to do some Cecil Googling. That's kind of what I'm trying to figure
Right.
out. That's how I'm feeling. Like, is this why? If it's all through Snapchat, then you still have the same accuracy of this 5 meter. You wouldn't just have this random accuracy, or wouldn't just pop to 30, pop them over to Wick, and then. Okay. Ajay says, did you look at any location history other than those points beginning at about noon on, I know what my second question was. Why does it say there's no activity until the 16th when we know Bunner had the phone on the 15th? That was my second question. Is he not doing anything with the phone besides walking it around? So that's only in the health data, not in the location data? Does that matter? Do you see what I'm saying?
No, I wasn't listening. I was typing something in.
No, it's fine. My question was, why does it say that the phone doesn't have anything else until the 16th when we know that Bunner had the phone on the 15th? Does that only track in the Apple Health data and not have anything to do with the location data from these reports?
So one thing with this stuff, it says Snapchat did not automatically save to the camera roll in 2017. The memories feature, which allowed users to save snaps, was introduced in 2016, but it saved them to an in-app vault, not directly to the device's camera roll. Users had to manually export snaps from memories to their camera roll to save them to their device, which is what I still have to do.
Okay, so has anybody to date, or has anybody planning on, somebody who actually understands this phone data way more than I do, because like I said, I'm by no means even close to an expert. Is anybody doing a video or has done a video that I have missed on explaining the meaning behind all of this, to break it down? Has anybody done that yet, or does anybody plan on doing that? And if you have, let me know, because I want to watch it. Like somebody who actually understands this. Don't Dox Me says the AI overview says the phone's native camera is generally more accurate because it uses the device's full hardware capabilities, while Snapchat often captures a screen grab from the live viewfinder. Case did one. That's what I'm wondering. If somebody's already done it, then I'm not going to bother. Quester is an engineer, and he is very knowledgeable on the phone data. Okay.
Do we have to send this to Ian Whiffen?
Yeah, do we need to get a Whiffen? I'm not familiar with who Quester is. Is that somebody you had on the channel, Amy?
Yeah, Cecil cites Whiffen's research and his shit too. Actually, he cites Whiffen's blog.
Okay. T outed herself. Quester works with Amy.
Yeah, he has an accent.
Maybe I do know who that is then, and I'm not familiar. Okay. I'll double check. Maybe I do know. Did you look at any location history other than those points beginning at about noon on February 13th of 2017?
I kept mine to right around like noon up until this last one, which is 14/13/55, because I knew that everything after that would be when law enforcement would have essentially had custody of the device. So I kept mine between that time frame. I hope I'm answering what you're asking.
I kept mine to right around like noon up until this last one, which is 2/13/55. On what day? Okay, you're answering. Okay, we'll get there. Now you completed your initial, can I call it a summary report? I think you called it an initial report, defendants 1.
Yeah, it's initial because I don't ever say that I found anything. No examiner is ever going to testify in court that they found everything, because new software comes out like in this case right here. So yeah, this is initial.
And when you completed this report, I believe on August 21st of 2019, is that correct?
Yes, that's when I completed it. Yes.
And then presumably you gave it to other people in law enforcement. Is that correct?
I provided hard drive copies and gave it to the Delphi investigation team.
And who specifically on the team?
I gave these hard drives to Jay Harper, who's a detective with the Lafayette Post, and he would have disseminated to the team. I don't know who all the team is, but I gave those to him.
Earlier, I'm not trying to trip you up, but I just want to make sure I'm correct. This says that you began your digital forensic examination of the following item at the request of First Sergeant Detective Jerry Holman of the Indiana State Police.
Yes.
So did Jerry Holman ask you to do this?
Yes, he brought the phone to the state police, my office. He's the overseer of this investigation.
Have you had any discussions with Jerry Holman about your findings or your analysis or your work on this case at all?
Not since we did this. He does not know that we did this.
He does not know that you did what?
The 2024. He does not know. I have not communicated that to him, that we did this 2024.
What about 2019? Did you communicate that to him?
Yes, he knew that that was done.
Did you actually have a conversation with him about your findings?
I did not have a conversation. He has the report, and then I gave him the hard drives. Well, gave them to Jay to give to the team, which presumably would go to First Sergeant Holman.
So in your experience, do investigators ask questions about what you've done and call you up and ask you, like, how does that work?
They will just call and say, hey, what can you tell me about this? What do you know about this?
I have a question about this. Has that ever kind of come up?
With any forensic, they'll ask certain questions. Hey, I see this in the examination. What does it mean?
And did anyone call you about your 2019 report?
I'm sure someone called and asked about the timeline that I put together. That may have been the topic of discussion. Who that would have been, I don't know. But I remember talking to somebody about the timeline. But that was the gist of the conversation, because this is information we did not know in 2017, or my understanding we did not know in 2017.
What information? Would you have kept track anywhere of who you talked to about your report?
I might have. I can go back through emails and see if there's any conversation I would have had.
Would you mind doing that for me at some point?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So you would mind.
Yeah.
All right, this always happens. I'm really prepared, and now I'm all out of order. So I think what I would like to do is just kind of go through your 2019 report.
Sure.
And I think we've already covered a lot of it. Let's kind of hit some points. So one thing I'm looking at, page 4 of Defendant's Exhibit 1, and in your first kind of column section, if you will, you said that you have the written consent of Mike Patty, Liberty German's grandfather. Did you obtain that consent?
No.
Do you know who did?
I just have I can look and see on the written consent form. I just have that. I don't know who did that.
You have the written consent form?
Yes, I believe that was provided to you. A copy of that
in this?
Yes. And I think even in other reports that would have been provided to you.
Is that in the folder legal process?
Yes.
Gotcha. Can you tell me why anyone got Mike Patty's consent? That was my question. Why did anybody get Mike Patty's consent?
I do not know.
Did anybody think to look at what authority he had to give consent to look at the phone?
I do not know.
Is that something you would have done, or is that something the investigator who brought the phone to you would have done?
I do not know.
How do you not know? Now you also note at the bottom here, Apple iPhone 6s was previously unlocked by Celebrite, CAIS unlocking service, and examined utilizing the Celebrite physical analyzer by First Sergeant Detective Brian Bunner. Are you referring to the 2017 extraction there?
Yes, but there's part that's incorrect.
Okay.
It says it was unlocked by Celebrite CAIS unlocking service. That's not correct.
How do you know that?
Because when talking with Bunner, I got confused. They used that to unlock the iPad. So my understanding from Bunner, which I recently spoke with him, was that he had a password, and that's how he got into it.
Into the iPad or into the phone? Is there...
They had the password for the phone. They used the Celebrate CAIS unlocking service for the iPad.
I think the whole point is that Mike Patty didn't have the authority to give any. Okay, it wasn't his phone, and it wasn't his phone plan, and so I think that that's what they were trying to get at. It was like, why would anybody get Mike Patty's authorization when it's Becky Patty's phone?
Unless it was like actually his phone.
Okay, and so it's incorrect that they used that, but what they actually used that to unlock the iPad because they had the password for the phone.
Right.
Okay. Is there anything else in your report that's incorrect?
There is a finding that this examination, how do I put it? With the information that I knew at the time, I thought the phone had died at around 10:30. This forensics here basically tells me that no, it didn't die. It was in low power mode, and the phone stays in a state where it's trying to stay alive in loose terms. It's trying to cut down services to where it can only do certain things that it would want to do for a user, like receive phone calls and receive text messages.
So did the phone ever die?
I don't believe it did. And that was just based on what I knew in 2019 from the extraction or from the examination.
Why do you believe now that the phone didn't die?
Because I can see other data that's going on with the phone.
What other data?
Like it's receiving phone calls still, or it's receiving text messages. This is just things that I just didn't see at the time.
What text messages do you believe it received? And when you say text message, can you be more specific?
This is going to be messages coming from Snapchat and from where presumably her family members are telling her to call. It's got voicemails.
What type of messages? So you've got Snapchat messages?
Snapchat and iMessage or SMS messages.
When does it get SMS message?
That's kind of a broad question because I'll have to go through here and pull that up and tell you.
Let's back up a minute while you're looking at that. On the page 5 of your report, there's a picture of an iPhone 6s. Is that Libby's phone or is that a generic picture of an iPhone?
It's a stock photo.
Prior to 2019, did anyone ask for a full system extraction?
No, I don't think anyone knew to do that.
Did you have Brian Bunner's extractions available to you in 2019?
I had them available, but he would have given them to me if I wanted them. I think he offered them, but I did not want them.
Why not?
Because I wanted to see what I could find. I don't want his stuff. I want to go into this with what I can find on my own.
Let's look at page 7 of the forensic analysis of data.
Yes.
And you've got user account information. Were there any anomalies in that information? Anything that you feel now needs to be corrected? Anything that stood out to you that you thought, well, that's kind of odd?
No, this was essentially what Celebrate was able to help me find, and not from what I know now. No.
Okay, so this is 2 great points. If they had Mike Patty's consent, then why did Diener have to issue an order for Libby's Apple data in October of 2017? I'm just wondering if they were trying to get, if they just got like the basic stuff and then they were trying to get, because the phone and the iPad are both factory reset within weeks of the homicide.
Mm-hmm.
So are they trying to get, I don't know. And this is also a good point, Case. How do you know what's new if you don't know what's already there?
Mm-hmm.
They knew to get it all. Yeah, okay. And does that include all of the users' accounts observed on the phone? All the user accounts observed on the phone?
All the user accounts I found at the time. I don't think it's changed from my new information. I haven't seen any notable changes. Anything notable.
Page 8 has biometric data. You noticed 3 fingerprints that were enabled in Touch ID. Is that correct?
Yes.
1 belonged to Abby.
Yes.
How do you know that?
It said Abby.
But you didn't check to see if that was actually Abby's fingerprint?
No.
And there's a designation for right and designation for left?
Right.
What is your understanding of what those are?
I'm going to presume it means right finger, left finger. Which finger that is, I don't know. It could be their toe. I don't know. I'm presuming that's what this is.
It's not Brad's toe.
Not
Okay.
his big toe, anyway.
Not as big. Not his thumb toe.
Not his thumb toe. For anyone that doesn't know, this short one here, which is usually your biggest one, it's called your thumb toe. Okay.
That's not called it. That's what Sloopy calls it.
I've never not called it a thumb toe. It's the equivalent of your thumb, but on your foot. It's a thumb toe. Just like you have a pinky toe.
I didn't do it, 4 Pits. That wasn't me.
This is gaslighting. The toe or the other stuff? The reading of the transcript or the toe?
Like
the
the
thumb
toe.
toe
I feel like she's talking about the toe. We're just trying to convince everybody that it's not Brad Weber's toe.
Yes, you have a pointer toe.
I
love how they're blaming you.
It wasn't me. Do a
No,
pointer
the
toe.
horrendous thing about burned my eyeballs off earlier in the stream, that was Teresa's fault, clearly. The toe was me.
In fairness, I thought you asked me to play the video.
I did, not that video, though. I tried to forget about that video. So I was even more startled because, like on my phone screen, it's real small. So like I was looking real close. How dare you?
How dare you? Okay. And do you have any idea if both of those belonged to Libby?
No, I do not.
Presumably at least one does?
It could.
But we don't really know, right?
Could be that she's logging in with the password. I don't know.
Was there anything unusual in that data in terms of the biometric data?
No.
I'm going to move on to the Apple Health app. We talked about the correction there. What is your understanding of the accuracy of the health data on the iPhone 6S?
Is your second toe your longest toe? Mine is not.
No, but some people's is.
Mine's
the
yeah,
same.
no. Mine goes like in an order like a staircase.
No, my big toe and second toe are the same length.
But are they longer than your thumb toe?
That's my thumb toe and my second toe are the same length.
Oh, I see what
My
you're saying.
big toe.
Huh.
I feel like I can't have a middle toe, like a middle finger, if I can't flip people off with it.
Yeah, like on my hand, my fingers, my middle finger is obviously my longest. I have crazy long second toes. Really? Pointer toes, as it were.
It's like a sign of intelligence. Is like if your second toe is longer. I never heard that one. But mine's definitely the same length though. So it's quite embarrassing. Wait, my toes go big to small like steps. That's what sleuthies are.
Yeah.
Mine are essentially that. How would we ever find out if Brad Weber's second toe is longer than his big toe?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it is now. But
it is now. I'm just saying, the minute that I heard that was going on with that toe, especially his thumb toe, I was like, oh, if Bridge Guy has a limp, it's got to be Brad Weber. Duh, because
Yeah.
that's what happens when you're missing your thumb
Listen,
and toe.
All
Me
I
too.
said, I resent the toes. It always does too.
Me too,
Every time.
always.
It never fails. You brought the toe into this. Well,
How
no,
did we even get here? Because it's Cecil's fault because he
because
doesn't
he
know
said
which
it could have
finger
been
or
a toe.
toe. Okay. Where were we?
It could have been a toe. Okay. What is your understanding of the accuracy of the health data on the iPhone 6s?
Where are you? What are you reading from?
You're on line number 9.
From what? That's you. It says Q.
Oh shit! It's still me? No, it's you.
Oh, well, it says Q. Okay, I'll read it. From research that I had done at the time when Apple had health data. What? From research that I had done at the time when Apple had health data, it was pretty much in its infancy. It was good, but it's not as good as it is now. We're in iOS 17 now. It's really good. When I say really good, it serves as a pedometer. It's fairly accurate. From research that I found, it really depends. The degree of accuracy depends on how the user's carrying that phone. So whether they put it in their pocket, it's in a backpack, it's actually in their hand, it's clipped to their belt. So that really depends on the degree of accuracy.
What is the most accurate means?
I'm sorry?
You gave different descriptions. Is it in their hand, in their pocket, in their backpack? Which is the most accurate of those?
I think from the research that I found, it would probably be in your hand because you're moving. Again, we're all users of iPhones. If you have a watch, if you have an Apple Watch, it tells you, hey, you're walking. Well, you'd be
I'm
walking
agreeing
if
with
it was in
Peggy
your
here.
pocket or in your backpack too. So
Yeah. Or it's on your belt. Yeah, you're walking. Hey, you're walking. Good job. Yeah, at least
research
he
means
doesn't say
Google.
healthcare app, the healthcare data.
Healthcare data. Oh my God.
And I'm agreeing with Peggy on the fact that he's continuing to use research instead of what his actual knowledge or what he's learned.
It's because he's just Googling it.
Because this is just all in this fucking Apple forum. Because we all have iPhones. Why does he keep assuming that everybody has an iPhone?
Mm-hmm. He definitely did label the whole room as iPhone users.
Yeah, they're like, fuck
and
that.
Words with Friends users.
Yeah, we're all playing Words with Friends, and we're all Snapchat friends. And you said that at 14/32/39 was the last date and time the iPhone logged movement until it was charged and forensically examined on February 15th. What might cause it not to record movement?
If it's not moving.
Look at the end. Look at the end. Is there any other cause?
Not that I know of. So my understanding, the way Apple Health works is the app, you don't set it up. Some people do, but it's set up by default. It's logging. It's always going to log. Even when you get a new iPhone and you upgrade and you move your iCloud data, it goes over with that phone. That's my understanding from Apple. So the phone's moving. So whether Liberty gave the phone to Abby and Abby is walking around with it, it's going to log Abby's movements. I don't know who was carrying the phone at the time on the trail. It could have been Liberty, could have been Abby. I don't know whose movement it was tracking. I would imagine that if I'm out walking and I gave you my phone, you're going to have a different pattern than what I'm going to have. Two different people, height, some people that are shorter are going to take more steps. So if the phone's not moving, it should be able to detect that.
What if you turn the location off?
If you turn the location off, it's still going to detect movement.
I tried that and it didn't.
I'm sorry?
I tried that and it didn't detect movement. I turned my location off and it didn't detect the movement. Can you explain that?
We're talking about iOS 10. This is iOS 17 now is what we're in.
I'm talking about iOS 10.
Okay, I don't understand your question. I don't understand what you're asking.
Of course you don't. What I'm asking is, if I turn my location off, does that then affect the Apple Health data, the steps and the movement that the phone is recording?
My understanding is it doesn't. It's going to detect you moving with it. That is my understanding from the information that I've collected in research, that turning location off, it's just tracking movement. It's not tracking that I'm going from A to B. It's just tracking, hey, I know you're walking around with it. It's a pedometer.
Can you tell me what you looked at to come to that conclusion?
I can provide those papers.
That would be great.
Yes.
Baldwin
I
pops
bet
in.
you it's
Right.
Whiffins. I bet you it's Whiffins.
Yeah, probably. Baldwin says, does low power, when it goes into low power mode, does that have impact on your steps?
I don't know. I mean, on the trail, it's clearly she's in low power mode. The phone is. So it's collecting some stuff. But once it gets to a point where it's not moving, is low power mode going to get down to a certain point where it's not collecting it? I don't know.
Ajay comes back and says, let's look at page 9. Actually, let me go back on the health data. When you were looking at the movement and the steps, were you able to draw any conclusions from that based on the timeline that you knew?
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that question?
Sure. When you're looking at the movement and the number of steps, the meters, and coupled with your understanding of the timeline, were you able to draw any conclusions from that?
The only conclusion is that they're walking with the phone. That's the only thing I can see. My interpretation is you can take the distance and you can take the time from point A to point B, and you can figure out how fast they're walking. That's the only thing I've been able to deduce.
Did you notice any anomalies in your health data?
Other than what I miswrote at the beginning?
Right.
No. From what I saw in the database, no.
Does Apple record movement if you're in a vehicle?
No, not in the Apple Health, no.
Let's go back to the Knowledge C database analysis. The timeline that begins on page 9, that's your work product?
Yes.
And what did you use to compile this timeline?
This was a mixture of Celebrite, Magna Axiom, and Blacklight. Again, I'm using all these different tools to try to come up with this timeline because some tools do a better job at bringing information to an examiner. And also, I can use the tools to validate what I'm seeing as well. So I use those tools to pull these things together.
You've got 3 columns here and some are shaded out.
Mm-hmm.
Why are those shaded out?
So on the right side, which is the battery, I just shaded it out because I'm just tracking the battery percentage as it decreases or it starts increasing because presumably somebody's charging the phone. There's nothing there, so I just shaded it out.
Where did you get the battery percentage?
That's coming out of Knowledge C, if I remember correctly. And then like when it comes right here, I think 13, 39, 32, it's presumed that at the time that the application in focus, I wasn't quite clear what was going on, but with this 2024 report, I can see that she's looking at Snapchat. And then also I can see there's no app in focus and it's cleared up. The phone is locked and they're probably walking or doing something else. I don't know what it is they're doing. Their attention is not focused on the phone. When I have that gray, I don't know what they're doing. I just don't know. I don't want to sit here and I don't know.
What made you include the battery percentage on your timeline?
It's something I've never seen before. This is the first case that I actually had that. So I thought this might be interesting to know. It was something different. It kind of gives you another clue what was going on with the phone.
So the phone was unplugged at 1:48:12 or 13:48:12, and it was at 27%. And then it went up to 28% after it was unplugged, looking at page 10.
I think that's delayed because we're talking about records getting recorded into a database on a phone. So there's a little bit of a delay there for it to actually log that information, because you can see that it's about between 12 seconds and 40 seconds. So you're talking about what, 28 seconds there? So it would be a delay of actually getting logged into the database within the Knowledge C.
You notice the Snapchat that was posted at 2:05 and 10 seconds. Was that one of the data points on your Google Earth map? Did that generate a location?
Let me look at that and I'll tell you for sure. So there's 14:05:08. And then there's a picture that gets posted at the Monon High Bridge at 14:05:10.
Right, sorry.
It's pretty close. So whether her posting it in the memories generates that, it could be the mere fact that she's in Snapchat. Like I said, I don't know when Snapchat does this. I just know that you opening it and going into it is going to update where you are.
On the next page, you make a notation. Between 2/13/2017 at 2:07 and 10 seconds and 2:07 and 20 seconds is likely when Liberty uploaded the still image to Snapchat depicting Abby walking across the Monon High Bridge. I did not find an entry within the Snapchat databases indicating this image had been shared. In addition, I failed to recover this still image. Can you explain to me what you think is going on there?
I don't know. Do you know what picture I'm talking about?
You describe it.
Bear in mind here, I don't know anything about this case. Again, I've reiterated earlier in my deposition that I've never read a case report. So my knowledge about this case is coming from the news media and what bits and pieces that I can get from the investigation team. So there's a picture that was posted on Snapchat at 14:07, and it looks like it's Abby walking across the bridge. And I was looking for that picture, and the only reason why I know it's 14:07 is I'm going off what I'm finding in the news.
No way. No way. No how. There's no time. There's 0 time on that photo. Fair enough. I get some of my information from there too.
Then the investigator said, hey, have you found this? Because they're hearing about it because apparently someone must have been on Snapchat with her or whatever, screenshot and blew it out on Facebook, and then it gets picked up by the news. That's what I'm presuming has happened. I don't know. Again, I'm going off what I'm reading in the news and what I'm finding when I go back through about this case. So I have what was in the news. If you want, I could show you the picture so we're clear that the three of us are on the same page here.
The picture that you're looking at and referring to, is that a picture of Abby on the Monon High Bridge, and at the top left it says 7 hours ago?
Yes. Yes.
Are you getting, or is anyone getting 2:07 because of the 7 hours ago? And someone claims to have seen it at 9:07?
Again, I wasn't getting a lot of information from the team on this. I'm going off what someone has suggested happened. Again, I don't even know if it's true or not. I don't know.
So essentially what he should be putting in his reports is that there is no photo of Abby on a bridge.
Correct.
Because he doesn't find that in any poll of any information from Libby's phone. There is literally no photo of Abby on a bridge from anything he did with the investigation.
So he instead pulled it from Google and then went with the 2:07 timestamp that he saw on the news. And has no clue where they come up with that timestamp.
Because they couldn't. There is no 2:07 timestamp. It's just always been bullshit. Gotcha. So, this is you. So here's Defendant's Exhibit 2 is marked for identification.
I don't know. Yep, that's the picture.
Exhibit 2. That's the picture you're referring to?
That's the picture I'm trying to find.
And you haven't found it?
Nope, haven't found it. I don't see an entry where that was even taken. And I even went back through to see, because there's pictures, and I think you saw those in 2017, snaps. It's in the folder. Those are snaps where you can see where Liberty is taking a picture, and you see Abby in the background, dozed off in another world, right? So I see what she's got. I see what she's got mirrors what she's got in that picture. So I'm presuming. But then again, we're talking about teenagers. Teenagers wear their clothes for multiple days. This could be from another day. I don't know, but I tried.
You clearly don't have girls, because teenage girls change their clothes multiple times per day.
I do have 2 girls. But here in this case right here, I don't know, but I tried. I'm going off of what I know about, limited knowledge about this case, which is what I'm finding in the press.
And you looked and couldn't find it.
Correct.
All right.
There had been a discussion about that. I don't remember if it was Jerry Holman or Jay Harper or Dave Vito. I don't remember who asked, but I remember there was a discussion. Hey, I'm hearing about this. Can you find this? So I thought it was important to look and say, hey, I did. It's not there.
Who all have you talked to from the State Police or Unified Command about this case?
When?
Anytime.
The only people I would have talked to about this case would have been Jay, Jerry, Dave, Brian Harshman, Jay Clinton, and Pete Lagoza. Those are the ones that come to mind.
Brian Bunner?
Yes, thank you. Brian Bunner.
Can we talk about the movie for a minute?
Sure.
Are the number of bytes on the metadata associated with the movie consistent with the length of the video?
Can you help me and show me where? Do I have that in here? Do I have that in my report?
It is not in your report. I got the information from the metadata that got pulled up on Celebrite. Let me put the commas in so I get these right. It looks like 84, 537, 232, but never take my word for it on numbers.
I'm going to try to find that video and verify what you're saying, because I didn't put that in there. The other thing, to be fair, I didn't care about the video because it had already been discovered. The video meant nothing to me. I'm there to try to find new stuff that we don't know.
When they're talking about this movie, are we talking about the Bridge Guy video, the 43-second video?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
So that video in bytes is 84,537,232. That's in bytes.
Are the number of bytes consistent with the length of the video?
That's just what it is. When it generated the video, when it was recorded, that's what it says it is.
No one looked at that issue.
I'm not a person who enhances video or would look at that. I can just say that this is the size of the video in bytes.
Is the timestamp associated with the video correct?
Yes.
How do you know that?
Well, it's connected to the cellular network. She's been talking back and forth on Snapchat the entire time, and presumably she's getting information from afterwards where she's getting text messages. So it's connected to the cellular tower.
You had some confirmation points there?
I could see the activity coming on the phone. So yeah, it's clear she's got GPS coming all the way up there, and then it calculated GPS. So yes.
What about, did you look at the MD5 associated with the video?
What about the hash?
Did anyone check it to determine if there were any anomalies on the video?
Celebrate calculates that MD5. If I were to give you a copy of that video, then you would calculate your own MD5 and make sure it matches what Celebrate says it is. I've not given a copy of this to anyone, so I don't have any reason to verify the hash.
How would elevation affect the horizontal accuracy?
So my understanding from research that Celebrate's provided, that your phone has an altimeter in it, and it would say if there's an elevation. So going back to the health app, we talked about the elevation change, right? We don't know if that's an up or down, don't know. They just know that there's an elevation change. And according to Celebrate from research, because you have to remember, Apple is not going to tell us what it is they do, how they designed this. They're not going to give up their secrets. So a lot of this has been researched by engineers and software developers and app developers and forensic examiners. So what Celebrate has been able to determine is every 3 meters or every 10 feet. Oh, so like meters is yards almost. It's like a yard and a third.
Yeah.
Okay. When your phone is detecting an elevation change or every 16 steps, that's how it's detecting that. It knows that there's an elevation change. But again, it doesn't know if you're going up, doesn't know if you're going down. So regarding this video right here, if there was
so before you continue on, he said this twice, and this is not true. That it doesn't know whether you're going up or down. It doesn't track going down.
Right, it only tracks going up.
It only tracks going up, and he said that twice now.
Mm-hmm. So regarding this video right here, if there's something that had to do with elevation, I would think that it would have been part of the metadata. But I think there's something here in there where in the original elevation here, I guess 180.315, that's part of the position. So how it's calculating that, it's usually the altimeter when they built your phone. iPhone 6 was the first phone that had the altimeter put in.
There are different things that can affect location accuracy, correct?
Mm-hmm.
One of those things is bridges.
I guess.
You don't know?
I'm guessing. I don't know.
Okay, fair enough. Let's talk for a minute about the battery. The phone went from 28% at 138 and 40 seconds to 4% at 4% at 335.
Yep.
And 11 seconds. Is that right?
Yeah.
I had to make sure I was reading that correctly.
Mm-hmm.
But it's in low battery mode the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
The girls are presumably dead according to the state's timeline, but the battery maintains its 4% up until the time of death.
Not only does it maintain it, but something, what made it in low power mode, what made it drop from 28 to 4 in the 106 minutes? but yet it held on to that final 4% for over 12 hours.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yes.
Do they have what it was at the 213? What was the percent of it at the 213?
He has not said that.
Yeah, it never died. It stays at this 4%.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is when it's found.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's interesting. So in 106 minutes, it dropped 24%.
Yep.
And then according to your first report, your initial report, you believed it went from 4% to 0% between 3:35 and 10:32.
Mm-hmm.
Which is almost 6 hours, right?
Mm-hmm.
I need you to say yes or no.
I'm sorry.
You're fine.
Yes, you're correct.
And now you're saying it didn't go to 0 in that time frame.
I do not believe it did.
How do you explain that? Dropping 24% in 106 minutes to not even dropping 4% in almost 6 hours.
So earlier we were talking that when the phone is leaving the house, somebody's house, and it's on the road and it's making its way to the Monon Trail, they're on Snapchat. So remember our discussion earlier about when it needs to use GPS. That's using a lot of battery power. So she's using it, presumably she's charging. She's still using battery power to use Snapchat. When the girls are on the trail walking, they're still on social media, they're still on Snapchat. So they're causing Snapchat to generate a GPS, which is using battery power to get up to the satellites and say, hey, this is where I'm at. Presumably, if they had not been on Snapchat, just out there and went out to walk, they probably would have still had a significant amount of battery power on their phone. But they didn't because they were on social media. By the time it gets down to right around when, I think you said 3:15.
The time?
When it gets down about 4%.
So 3:35.
3:35. No one is interacting with the phone. They're not going on social media, causing it to use battery power. It's just doing whatever it's doing. It's just there.
Now, does a phone use more power if it is finding it more difficult to connect to a tower?
This is using more power because it's connected to satellites. Remember, we're using GPS because we want accuracy.
That's not the time period I'm sorry. So let's say you're out of the area. How does that affect your cell phone battery? The phone is trying to connect to a tower and keeps trying to connect to the tower. How does that affect the battery?
I don't know if it's going to affect the battery. If it's in a Faraday box and it's still powered on, it's going to want to keep calling home until you put it in airplane mode, right? You put it in airplane mode, then it knows, okay, and it preserves battery power. But if it's in a Faraday box or Faraday bag and you don't put it in airplane mode, it wants to connect home. In this situation here, I'm trying to understand what you're asking me. Is it going to keep hitting towers? Is that what you're asking?
Okay, nobody's talking about a fucking Faraday bag or box. The phone was not put into a Faraday bag or box at this time. Why is that even part of his fucking answer? Pay attention to the question, then you could probably answer. Is that what you're asking? Is it going to keep hitting towers? So let's say the phone is under a shoe, under a body, and it's harder then to send out signals and receive signals from the tower. Is that going to affect the battery?
I don't know.
Okay, Baldwin pops in and says, when people would be texting or sending phone messages, leaving phone messages, calling, using Facebook Messenger, or whatever to try to contact that phone, every time somebody texts, every time somebody leaves a voice message, every time somebody uses Messenger, is that using battery power from that phone?
Yes, it will. But again, once we get in that low power mode state, I'm going to use this metaphorically. It's like the phone becomes an organism. It wants to stay alive. It wants to be able to connect to towers. It wants to stay alive to be able to help you. The phone doesn't know what's going on. It just knows that, hey, I'm in low power state. Doesn't know what you're doing. Doesn't know what I'm doing. So it's trying to start shutting down critical things or things it doesn't need. It's not going to sit there and do background app refresh. So if you've got Snapchat running in the background and Facebook running in the background, it's not going to sit there and keep refreshing that stuff because it wants to be able to get to the critical things, like be able to receive phone calls and receive text messages. So it's going to limit its functionality down to those critical things.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to go back in this unless somebody happens to remember what time he said that it went into low battery mode.
He doesn't know when. Does that answer your question, sir?
He does though. He says when it goes into low battery mode. He just doesn't know if the user did it or if it was done by Apple itself.
We're on page 70.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, we'll have to go back and look at that because I'm pretty sure it was in low battery mode already, but then she plugged it back. She plugged it in the car, got it up to 28%. Okay, so Baldwin says it kind of does. Are you saying that when... Go ahead.
Because I'm looking for your...
Oh, you didn't have to do it right now.
He says...
Yeah, it's not the defense that brings up the Faraday bag. It's
So she
Cecil
says, now
himself.
you also said, I think the third thing you were able to add that you knew when the low power engaged on the phone. Yes. What did you learn about that? So again, going back to, we all have iPhones. When an iPhone hits right around 20%, your phone says, hey, do you want to engage low power mode? So it would have been after she got out of the car. Well, he says, I can look at it here a little deeper, but earlier the phone had been put in low power mode. I don't know if it was done automatically by Apple, because sometimes Apple can do that, or if the user did it. I just know that low power mode was engaged, and it was never, I see no record where it was ever turned off. When did that happen? Good question. If I may, it's not clear in the actual report itself. I need to pull up the extraction. So then they go back to the low power mode. And then she starts asking about location data.
So he doesn't actually go back and answer that question?
No, when she comes back, he literally was supposed to be looking at the extraction and then come back. And she said, we're going to come back to the low power mode. And she asked about location. Baldwin says, does low power mode, when it goes into low power mode, does that have impact on your steps? And Cecil says, I don't know. I mean, on the trail, it's clearly she's in low power mode. The phone is. So it's collecting some stuff. But once it gets to a point where it's not moving, is low power mode going to get down to a certain point where it's not collecting it? I don't know.
Okay. So, but from what he does say, it sounds like it goes into low power mode after she gets out of the car when she's at the trail.
That's what it sounds like to me.
That's what it sounds like, but we don't know for sure. Okay.
No.
Okay, so Baldwin says it kind of does. Are you saying that when somebody tries to call the phone and say, hey, Libby, where are you? And leaves a voice message, that is using battery, though?
It is.
Baldwin says, so are you saying it uses less battery than it would because it's kind of in survival mode than it would be in normal situation?
I think so. So we all have our phones and we call. What happens? The screen lights up, right? And my understanding, I think what it's going to start doing is when it gets down to certain survival state, the screen may not light up because it wants to keep the power going. So it may still receive phone calls, but in this case, it appears it does, but it's not going to. There's other things that's going on with the phone that it's not going to do traditionally, as if it had been above 20% charged.
Baldwin says when it's at 4% at 3:35 and 11 seconds, it's using battery. It is also connected or communicating with the tower if it's receiving texts or emails or Facebook messages.
It's got to be connected to something if that's what you're asking.
Right.
From what I can tell, there's data still going to it.
Does that data that's going to it happen at that moment in time, or could it go there later?
That's a good question. I don't know. Because I know at some point the phone does get connected back to the network. It's clear. So I don't know if that data is aggregated somewhere until it finally connects. I don't know.
Sorry to interrupt. Okay, so back to Ajay. And now you're saying that the display doesn't come on if it's in low power mode, right? Is that what you're...
I think at some point it's one of those survival things. At some point, I think that's what's going to happen with it.
I'm just knowing for mine, which is newer, 20%, and I think we talked about that earlier, right?
Yes.
But at 231, the battery is at 10%.
Right.
Okay, so here, this is a better time. This is a better time for us. The battery is at 10% at 231. But the display is still coming on associated with phone calls for over an hour after that, right?
It goes up till, I'm looking at my Celebrate report here. It looks like the last recorded event that the Knowledge C is collecting is at 17:45 or 5:45.
5:44:48.
I've got the end time being 5:45:44.
What's the end time for that?
That's for the on and off. So the start time was 17:44:48. So that's when it would likely be when it lit up. And then it would have gone out at 17:45:44. So almost like a minute later. I think at that point, again, it's trying to, and I'm making an educated guess based on my knowledge of this case or my knowledge of forensics, that it's in that survival mode. That's one of the things that's going to start shutting off because it wants to stay powered on as long as possible. And I think for Apple, for the user, that it is not something that's going to keep going.
What is an SMS message?
Short message, it's a text message.
And the SMS messages are those communicated using a different process than a message through the Apple network.
Yes, you have the iMessage. So if you and I and the rest of us here are on iPhones, you see blue. We're on the encrypted messaging system for Apple, the iMessage system. If the SMS would be green, so if you're communicating with somebody who's on Android or maybe they don't have good cellular signal, sometimes that iMessage does not function. So it's green, which is the unencrypted,
And that needs tower access, right?
I guess.
You don't know?
I don't know.
Now, you stated that applications updated in the background over the night. And that's why you think the phone was powered on?
Can you repeat that question again? I'm sorry, I was crunching ice.
Sure. You stated that the reason you think that the phone didn't die is because applications were running in the background.
No, I want to make sure I'm clear that the phone was still receiving information to it.
What information specifically was it receiving?
So when I'm sitting here looking at the timeline, I know that it is receiving messages. Celebrate calls it an instant message.
That would not be an SMS message, right?
Actually, it's considered an SMS message. It's what the database is pulling it from. It's pulling it from the WAL file, but it's an SMS message.
Why then does the report differentiate? It has instant messages and it also has SMS messages. Are those different?
Are you talking about from Celebrate?
Uh-huh.
We're on the 2019. Which report are you referring to?
I'm looking at the 2017, but it should be the same as the 2019 in terms of that data, right?
Right, pretty much. So
I can tell you I'm looking at page 544 of the PDF.
unfortunately, I don't have the... Can I come around to see what it is you're looking at? Are you okay with that?
I think so. Yeah, come on around and take a look at it. What's good for the goose is good for the gander, right?
Right.
So these are what I'm looking at. I'm looking at this page 544.
I'm just looking to see if this gives me a clue as to where this came from here, because I see there's some Facebook stuff here, Snapchat. Which particular...
So you've got instant messages, but then it also identifies SMS messages.
So this is Celebrate. If you look right here, it says instant message, the date and time. It's actually SMS. And if you go down and look at it here...
I'm going to stop you for 1 second.
Yes.
So you're saying that line 2138 is the same as line 2139?
Yes.
That would not be correct for 2134 and 2135, right?
Right, because it's Snapchat.
And now if we look at this report 1 second here, there are no SMS messages between 4:06 p.m. on 2/13 until 4:33 a.m. on 2/14.
When was the last date you said, ma'am?
4:33 a.m. on 2/14.
These are all instant messages because it looks like what they're communicating on are all... This looks to me like, and I would have to verify, this is all They're trying to communicate with her on social media,
Okay.
which, yeah, I think that's what that looks like to me. This is all social media.
Would you agree with me that here's an SMS message line 2172
Yeah, right.
at 4:06:48?
Right.
Okay, hold on. There's an SM message at 4:06:48.
Mm-hmm.
But the phone gets all the messages at 4. Okay, so that's on 2:13. Okay, never mind. She's just not using military time. So that made me think that they were going back to military time, which would be AM. If you look, there are no more SMS messages.
Mm-hmm.
No more SMS messages.
Right.
No SMS messages.
From what I can see, no.
Next 2 pages, none.
Okay.
Next 2 pages.
Going off what I see here, off of the PDF, presumably, yes. I would have to verify on my computer here.
Okay, that's fine.
But presumably, yeah. So what's your question?
Does it not seem odd to you that you've got 2 missing girls and no one texts them? Sends an SMS message between 4:06 p.m. on 2/13 until 4:33 a.m. on 2/14.
Are you asking me to presume the behavior of family members? Is that what you're asking?
Or anybody, or investigators. 911 was sending text messages.
I can't answer for why people are not using SMS. I don't know. They're using other mediums that are typically used by 13, 14, 15, 16, 17-year-old kids, which is social media.
Okay.
But I don't know why they're not using that. I don't know. I don't have the phones of those people who are communicating to see if that was even attempted. So I can't answer that question for you. I don't have an answer for you.
Are you aware that at 4:33 a.m. the phone suddenly received 14 SMS messages?
That's news to me.
I noticed that your initial report, Defendants 1,
Uh-huh.
contains no data from February 14th of 2017. Why is that?
I don't know. I focused on what was going on up to when I thought the phone had died, which was, I thought the phone died at 10:32:36 based on the information that I had at that time in 2019.
If the chats, the IMs, the instant messages, and all of that data between 4:06 p.m. on 2/13 and 4:33 a.m. on 2/14, isn't it true that those kind of auto-populate with the date and time once the phone is reconnected and turned back on?
It could, yeah.
But SMS messages do not, correct?
That I don't know. I would have to research that and test it. I don't know.
Fair enough. Did you ever review the call detail records for the phone?
That's a vague question. What are you asking? Are you talking about on the forensic side, or is there some other information you're asking about?
All right. So there was a search warrant sent to AT&T.
I know nothing about that.
Do you know how AT&T records data?
I know nothing
Record
about
data?
that. I know nothing about that.
So you wouldn't have looked at that.
That is not part of my specialty in forensics.
Whose specialty would that be?
That would have been Greg Edwards and probably the FBI.
Good luck with that.
That would have been the people that would have done it, is my understanding. Remember, I came in on this in 2019, so that's what I was given.
Gotcha. I should know this. I apologize. Is Greg Edwards part of the fugitive team?
I think he's part of the historical team.
You also don't know anything about pings, is that right?
No, ma'am, I do not.
I want to talk to you for a minute about the mobile analysis worksheet on page 11.
Yes.
Did you complete with your observations the device description?
Yes, I did.
And the very minor abrasions that you noted at the bottom of that subsection, can you describe those for me?
Just normal wear and tear from using the device, what you would expect. I mean, I'm assuming that even she had that rubber protective case, and I'm guessing at some point she probably didn't have one, or she took it off, or from dropping it, just from using the device. So I wouldn't be able to describe what condition the phone was in when I got it. So I can't be attributed to any damage that was done to it.
You also noted there were fingerprints on the phone.
Right.
Do you know if anybody's ever checked those fingerprints?
I do not.
How far back did the data on the phone go?
Data that she put on there, because there's stuff where the phone gives dates, but it's not accurate dates. What I mean is the iPhone has information on there when it's used. It'll put the date of 1970 or something, and it's something you and I know the phone wasn't around in 1970. It's a placeholder for information, right? So data that I contribute to the user, it goes back to, I think, February 4th of 2017, because the phone had been factory reset. I don't know who factory reset it. I just know it had been factory reset, been reconnected to the network. And it's like somebody just started all over again on February 4th. And the Celebrate report kind of talked about that.
Got to ask something. If there were SMS messages that were received on Libby's phone, but there are no corresponding SMS messages sent from the person sending the message, how would you explain that?
So which device are we asking is receiving?
That's probably a terrible question. So we've got Libby's phone, okay? And we have, let's say, phone A. Libby's phone says she receives 2 text messages from phone A.
Mm-hmm.
There was an extraction done for phone A, and those SMS messages don't exist on phone A.
Yes.
How do you explain that?
That's a loaded question. It could be phone A is not the same phone. It could be that phone A did a factory reset, doesn't have that data on there. I don't know.
If there's other data around the time of the text, that would indicate it wasn't a factory reset, right?
Maybe, or it could have been something they pulled down from the cloud. If it's an iPhone or if they're using a Google phone, that could mean anything.
Could it mean the texts were deleted by the user?
It could be. It could be something that simple.
Were there any anomalies or abnormalities that you noted other than the minor abrasions on the mobile analysis worksheet?
No.
What about the network access information?
What about that?
Was there any anomalies, anything unusual there?
No, I just documented findings. That's all that is.
Now, device status. You have battery level, if known, 0%.
Right.
Where did that come from?
So what that is, when the phone was given to me, dead.
And then under radio frequency shielding, airplane mode was enabled. Wi-Fi was disabled.
Right.
How did that happen? Was that how you received it?
Presumably that's how it was. I enabled the airplane mode. Well, excuse me. Let me rephrase that. Typically in my report, if I enable it, I will say I enabled it, or user enabled, or something that says that I did that. When I actually took possession of it, it was already enabled and the Wi-Fi was already disabled. So I'm documenting what I'm seeing on the phone as I go through it.
Do you know if that's the manner in which it was found on February 14th?
I do not know. I'm just merely documenting as a process of phone what my observations are.
So Baldwin pipes in and says, where should we be able to find that information of how the phone was received, whether it was in airplane mode or not?
I would presume that would be something that Detective Bunner, Lieutenant Bunner, would be able to testify to.
And then Ajay comes back and says, now there are a number of items that showed items that had been deleted. And I'm presuming that shows up on your 2019 report.
Like what's deleted?
So Exhibit 3. I'm going to show you the contents page of the 2017 report, which I presume is similar to your 2019 report. And it has a number of notations that say deleted.
Okay, I have to pee.
Okay, go ahead. I'll check chat and see what's happening over here. We'll pause. Okay, I question a lot of things not coming up at trial. Well, yeah, me too. Let's see. Abby Libby 4-4 will never get justice. Those children meant nothing to Albany. I agree with you. And it says, does Cecil think he's in a civil divorce proceeding and not an expert deposition in a murder case, the outcome of which he should have zero personal interest? That was my whole thing at the beginning of this too, Ange, is he's talking very like, from my research, from this, from that. Like, I don't really know. It just happens. It's like, you're legit the state's expert in this. How do you not have answers for these questions? Like, how much does he leave this room and go Google? It's just unacceptable to be a quote-unquote nice guy, yet completely inadequate for the task at hand. Nice doesn't mean shit when you're putting someone away for the rest of their life. I agree. I've always wondered, though, because like the attorneys that said that he was a nice guy, he was a nice guy. Do they have, like, is he somebody that they had coming up in other trials? Like, is he somebody who worked on other cases that they had on their docket? Shiloh, he is defensive, cocky, and deflecting from the questions. Well, he throws stuff in there that like nobody's talking about, and then he all of a sudden just says, "What was your question? Like, what did you mean by that?" And it's like, well, if you paid attention to the question, you wouldn't have just randomly started spouting off stuff about Faraday bags when nobody asked about that. Case, why not present that at the trial then? What did Case say? The defense knew there was more than one phone. Cecil is an abnormality. If they did, I don't understand why they wouldn't have made a very big point of the fact that, look at, if they're going to lie to you about Abby having a phone or that there was a second phone, what else are they lying to you about? I don't know why that wouldn't have been brought up unless it's under the old adage of stipulated evidence that we all disagree on. Hey, Mommy Kitty. Sorry, I'm mainly just a listener, but remembered this. What did you remember? Let me go back up to see what you said. The vulnerability raised concerns about privacy, and this vulnerability raised concerns about privacy and security, prompting discussions about the need for better lock screen controls in future iOS updates. That doesn't surprise me. Fingerprints are like footprints to Jerry. Ballistics and pregnancy tests too. That's right. Pictures and photographs. Who factory reset the iPad? The family before 213, Buckley on 214, or Bunner on 215.
What was
Very
factory? Oh, well, I think they said the factory reset was the 4th for both.
But we've never gotten a very clear answer on why it was factory reset. Right, Grayspace? I think if we had FBI info on any of this, there's so many of our questions in the public would be answered.
Like, how does one start a public corruption case? Because these motherfuckers deserve it. Big time. Like, I would love to see Doug Carter crawl across shards of hot glass to have Jerry not be investigated by the FBI.
Yes. Those iPhones were famous for needing resets? Were they? Why? But I mean, like a factory reset? Not just your like, hey, Apple, can you restart my phone?
Bro,
like as
the
a
only
refresh.
time I have
Factory
ever
resets like wipes the entire fucking thing down to like where I'm going to turn it back into my phone company.
Yep, exactly. That's the only time I've ever factory reset it. I've had weird things happen on my phone and I have reset it, but that's like resetting the network settings. That's not restoring it back to factory settings. I've never done that unless I was selling the phone or putting it in an eco ATM or whatever. Jerry Holman's not a liar.
Yet he can't even figure out whether he was in charge of the investigation or not.
All right. I'm good.
Okay.
I said okay, so you're on 9.
Is that similar to what you found in 2019?
This is 2019, right? You're talking about 2024?
Nope, that's 2017.
That's Lieutenant Bunner's report. Is that what you're asking?
Uh-huh.
This is the first time I've seen this.
He pulled that same shit at trial, too. Like, I don't know anything about Bunner's report. I presume it's similar to your 2019 report.
I would presume so. There might be more stuff that would have been recovered that would have been deleted from then. What? There might be more stuff that would have been recovered that would have been deleted from then. I'm just presuming. I don't know for a fact. Again, I've never seen this report to be able to make the comparison.
This is the whole, I never looked at Bunner's report in 2017, so I don't know, but yet he says I was only looking for what was new, but he has nothing to compare it to because he never looked at the other report, so he has no idea what the fuck is new and what isn't. And he's saying, so the 2019 report would show more stuff that had been recovered from being deleted versus the 2017 report.
But it wouldn't because he actually he extracted it from the actual phone that they had let people use. So it was there was a bunch of data that was deleted, that was volatile, that was gone by the time he did it in 2019.
Correct. But he never bothers to even look at Bunner's report to see what's new or what's different.
Because there would have been stuff that was gone. And so then it would have been like, well, where did it go? And then we get into, well, we gave them the phone back and we let people use it. So if he's not aware of it, then he can't, you know what I mean?
Right. But like I said, like they're showing him this report now and he still tries to pull this at trial a few months later. Like, I've never seen that report. I don't know what it is. I've never looked at it. But it's like, you have to look at it. Otherwise you can't compare what's new and what isn't.
And if you didn't, and okay, whatever. I just can't.
Right. And I agree, Case. So they factory reset all of Libby's devices because they wanted her to not have access to anything that she'd had before.
But then she did.
No, because remember, Kelsey gets all the passwords to every app she has. Like, Kelsey's now the one in charge of monitoring her.
Well, then why didn't they know the password to the iPad? Also, that's not true because, okay, so there's an email at like 12:14 a.m. Don't quote me. I'd have to pull it up. There's an email at like 12:14 a.m. on the 14th saying, we're sorry you're having trouble getting into your Instagram, Libby.
Right.
Reset your password. So somebody was trying to get in her thing. So one would be able to easily explain that it's midnight, it's after midnight. Maybe Kelsey and them or family or whatever's trying to get into her Instagram to try to see if she was talking to anybody. But if they knew the password, then that wouldn't have happened. So
unless Kelsey hasn't given them the passwords yet, because she needs to go in and delete the stuff she needed to delete beforehand.
So then what would she had told them she just didn't remember it?
Yeah, like she'd have to figure it out or go find it. I don't know. She's the one who's accessing everything and going in there and seeing all these messages with Anthony Schatz, and that's why she contacts him, right?
I don't know, because once the story was that she contacted Anthony Schatz from Libby's Instagram, then it was that it was from a friend's Instagram. But I don't know how she would know to message Anthony Schatz from her friend's Instagram unless she was messaging everyone that Libby followed.
According
But if
to
you
her,
remember,
she was messaging him because she saw that she knew that he had messaged, they had communications that day, so she was messaging him.
And also Anna said in an interview somewhere that she wasn't very good, but like she didn't know about all of Abby's stuff and that Becky was the one that knew about all of Libby's stuff and had all the passwords.
About Abby's stuff? Or
No,
Libby's?
about Libby's. Like Becky had all Libby's stuff.
See, I feel like Kelsey is the one who had Libby's stuff. Kelsey knew all of Libby's passcodes and passwords except for the iPad that her and Mike went home to retrieve for Ellie on 2/13.
That was connected to her iPhone, synced up to her iPhone. And then she also had the location services on, and also Abby was able to get on the iPad. Abby was often on the iPad. Abby would even like iMessage Libby's cell phone from Libby's iPad. Does that make sense what I just said?
No, say it again.
Abby would get on Libby's iPad to do stuff.
Correct.
She would then, so like the messages app on the iPad can be set up like on mine, where if I send you a text message, well, it couldn't be a text message. It would have to be an iMessage. If I send an iMessage to my cell phone from my iPad, it comes from my Apple ID, not my phone number.
Correct.
Abby would iMessage Libby's cell phone from Libby's iPad, from her iCloud account.
Correct.
So
Hi, Fiend.
Abby had access to Libby's iPad, but
Yes.
nobody else had the password.
Well, I'm wondering if that's because it was Abby's password.
Right. That's what I was getting ready to say, is like, did Libby let Abby use the iPad? Like was Abby using the iPad? So Abby set up a password or the fingerprint thing or whatever because she was doing all of her shit on it.
Right. So it's her password that gets into it, which is why Kelsey doesn't know it.
Right.
Which would make sense to me.
But because it's still, and All Eyes found like the testimony, because we were like, well, how did they, blah, blah, blah. Like they said that they were able to observe on the iPad that there were phone numbers that were calling, and then they figured out that the phone numbers were family members. So the phone numbers that are saved in Libby's phone were not saved in Libby's contacts on her iPad. That would make sense if Abby was the one using it, right?
Right.
But the only reason that it was showing up is because it has to have an iCloud account, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it would be logged into Libby's, and therefore, since it was synced with Libby's cell phone, it would receive Libby's phone calls. Well, only like the FaceTimes or the FaceTime audios or the Facebook messengers. If it was logged into Libby's Facebook, like those kinds of calls, not regular phone calls, not regular text messages.
iPhones gain the ability to make and receive calls and texts on other devices through the introduction of the continuity feature with iOS 8. So, Trial Junkie, Cecil said 3 fingerprints. But I have to go back and compare to what testimony was at trial.
Yeah, 3.
But Cecil says 3 here. One is essentially, they never even proved who they were. One says Abby, one says left, one says right, which they assumed, or Cecil assumed, was Libby's right hand, and one was her left hand, according to this deposition. Now, does he change that? I would not be surprised. Diener had to sign an order for all the Apple data, though. Yes.
Well, back then, so that was iCloud data, which is saving like random things, like things that might not be on your phone or your iPad that are in the cloud. Actually, I could probably see on the February 15th one what the date of the last iCloud backup was.
Yeah. So I'm trying to remember, did it come out that the iPad and the phone were synced or were not synced?
They were.
They were synced.
Correct. And Find My iPhone was on. So really convenient. Nobody knows the fucking password to the iPad, which would have showed them exactly where the location of her phone was.
Gosh, I'm looking for it. Just read it today. August 2019 Cecil report. So that's interesting. I'll have to pull that up because in here he's saying it's 3, which is, this is Cecil's depot. So all I said, say that again, Sleuthy.
Say what again? That I don't remember. Say what? That the location, that the iPad and the iPhone were synced, and that Find My iPhone was enabled.
That's been a rumor, Angel Ray. Yeah, that's been a rumor that was something that was deleted. No, I've never seen proof of it, but yeah, that's been talked about.
Yeah, but
also
if Kelsey went into if Kelsey went in or whatever,
Mhm.
well, she couldn't have went into her phone. She could have went into the iPad. That wouldn't have necessarily deleted it. Well, actually, when I delete pictures, it says, "Do you want to delete from all devices?"
Hi, Fishy. Do they know Kelsey said someone signed in and was erasing stuff? A friend? Well, from my understanding, it was Kelsey. I don't know anything about a friend. I know Kelsey had stated that she was in there deleting stuff. Because I'm a little bit behind, but like, is this even Libby's phone or is this one of Becky's old work phones? Wasn't that an original explanation? Did the girls have both, Libby's and Becky's? So that's never been cleared up.
Which report was that other person? I didn't even see who it was. Where they talked, was it the August 21st, 2019 report?
Trial Junkie was talking about that, where Cecil says it's 6 fingerprints. So this has never been cleared up about the phone situation, because it was said years ago that the phone that Libby took that day was Becky's old work phone.
So listen to this. So the 2019 phone, user account information, okay, has Snapchat for liberty.german synced up with her phone number and stuff and her email. Then it had a Snapchat for a 2003 Abby Gale. And then it also had another Snapchat for Abby J. Williams. It had a Facebook and Facebook Messenger for Liberty German, a Facebook and Facebook Messenger for Abigail Williams, an Apple iCloud for Bob Shude with the username liberty.german@icloud.com. Apple ID Liberty Getman with an email of libertyrose1227@gmail. Musically, or however you say it, for Liberty.
Musically, TikTok.
Instagram for Liberty Link. Instagram for Abby Williams. Funimate, I don't know what that is.
What was it?
Funimate, FUNIMATE.
It's a video editor.
Okay, so it says Liberty 2002. Then there was House Party for Liberty German. Then there's 4 Gmail accounts. One is Liberty Rose 1227. One is 2003 Abigail. One is Liberty German 2002. The other one is MNBVCXZ. Then there's a live.ly. I don't know what that is. One for liberty.german, one for Abby Williams. Adobe for Liberty German. Groupon for Libby's email. Facebook for Bob Shude with the username of libby.german.3. Yahoo for LRLGEMAN. And then Twitter for Liberty Rose 1227. And then the biometric data. During my examination of this device, I determined the Touch ID was enabled. In addition, I determined that there were 3 fingerprints stored on the device. These fingerprints were identified as follows: right, left, Abby. So that's the 2019 report.
Okay,
left
so it
here.
does have the 3 still, but it's
Yeah,
got,
left with that.
and that is from the phone only.
I don't have anything about the iPad at all.
Okay,
I don't even see that, like, where I don't have anything that even says that it was downloaded. I don't know.
Bob Shoed was her, like, an alt account that she used.
That disappeared after she died.
Right. That got deleted.
And interestingly, so this would be more interesting if it said when someone read the email. The problem is it doesn't say when the email was read. So considering these idiots gave back her devices and presumably didn't tell them that they should not be logging into any of her stuff and reading it, don't really trust that law enforcement didn't go in and read shit like randomly. So my point with this is that because there's no way to know when these were read, it's less compelling than what I thought it was initially. So in her emails, in Libby's emails, there's like a bunch of emails that are unread, obviously. So on 2/13 at 5:32:57, she gets an email from Facebook for the Bob Shoot account.
She gets
Okay.
an email from Facebook.
Yeah, it's an email. Bob, you have more friends on Facebook than you think. Okay. And it's not read. So it's unread.
Okay.
But then on 12/14 at 12:11:11, she gets an email that says, Bob, confirm your Facebook account. Hi, Bob. You joined Facebook on February 4th, 2017, but you still haven't confirmed the email address associated with your account. You won't be able to use Facebook until you let us know that this email belongs to you. Just follow this link to confirm your account. And then it has the link. And that was read. So it was received on 2/14 at 12:11 a.m. And it was read.
Hold on, it was read 2/14, 2017 at what time?
At 12:11:11
a.m. 12:11:11.
And it was read, but that is when the email was received. Like that was when it got to her Gmail inbox. That's not the time that it was read, but it does say that the status of the email is read.
But it went into her inbox at 12:11:11 on the 14th.
Yeah, but it would have done that anyway. Even if her phone was off, it would have did that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you.
Because then the email that I was talking about her Instagram, that was on the 14th at 12:29. And that's unread. So the subject is help with your account. And the email says, hi, Liberty. Sorry to hear you're having trouble logging in to Instagram. We can get you straight back into your account. And then there's 2 links to log me in and reset your password.
So Bob Shoed's Facebook account is created the same day that the phone and the iPad are factory reset.
Correct. But it says you joined Facebook on February 4th, 2017, but you still haven't confirmed the email address associated with your account. You won't be able to use Facebook until you let us know this email belongs to you.
Okay. When's that email?
That's the red one, and that was the 14th at 12:11.
Okay.
But there was the one earlier in the day that was not read, and it was 12:13 at 5:32. And it
what
says,
email? What was that one?
And it says, Bob, you have more friends on Facebook than you think.
Oh, that's that one. Okay.
The fastest way to find all your friends on Facebook is importing your email contacts. Once you've imported your contacts, you can view, manage, delete, blah, blah. And somebody, so one of two things happened. Either somebody deleted that entire Facebook account after she died, or because from the 14th through to a whatever date
It was never verified.
was never verified, maybe Facebook got
Facebook
rid
took
of
it
it.
down. That's very
Mhm.
possible.
Yeah.
So she's creating a new Facebook under an alt account on the same day that they're factory resetting her phone.
Mm-hmm. But they never verified it.
So Kelsey had access to the accounts. We know that from Kelsey because she said she was logging into from Kelsey's devices was logging into Libby's social media accounts to see who she had talked to and get in contact with them to see if they'd heard from her. This was on the night of the 13th. We know she wasn't logging in from Libby's phone because obviously, well, I shouldn't say that. Libby's phone is, according to the state, is at the crime scene.
Well, see, and this is why it would be important
With all
to
these people having
obtain.
access, how do you know it's Libby creating any of this? Well, yeah, that's a good question too.
It would be important to obtain like
Right.
warrants or subpoenas or whatever from Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram, right when this all happened, because then, like, let's say you got it from Facebook, you'd be able to see exactly every time somebody logged in from whatever device they were logging in on and their location. So if anybody had logged in after the last time anybody heard from the girls, then they'd be able to follow up on that. And that goes for Snapchat too, and that goes for Instagram or whatever.
Right.
Which would have been pertinent even if they were just missing and not yet found dead. You know what I mean?
Yeah, on the 13th.
Correct. Like, let's see if we can get data from Facebook, let's say, and let's say the kids ran away. This is just a hypothetical conversation we're having as police. It's like if they ran away and got burner phones, or they had hidden old phones or something, and they think we can't trace them because they have their old, the phone that we know about now, they have it off. We could still find them if they're logging in from some other device, which most 13-year-olds are not going to think that far ahead. Like, they're going to think, if I'm not using the phone that my mom knows about to log into my shit, then she's not going to be able to find me.
Well, they should have every login for every one of those accounts every time that it was opened, or every time it's like says like switch user, like you have two Facebooks, you switch user, it's going to tell you that.
I mean, they should. That doesn't mean they do, and I don't know if they did. Like, I would presume that they got Facebook data and stuff, all that shit from Meta, but I haven't seen it, so I don't know if it exists.
Angel, right? Nobody has. We don't know publicly. Like we've never seen.
I've been saying this.
Was it actually digitally proven that Keegan was messaging one of the girls as Anthony Shots? Well, one. So this is what I was going to say. There's no physical evidence that has been shown to anybody in the public that this is true. Two, the Anthony Shots account, nobody can prove that Keegan was even the one using it at the time. So even if Anthony Shots is contacting the girls, nobody's been able to prove that it was Keegan. Three, in the Keegan Klein interview with law enforcement, they're telling him he's the last one that contacted Libby, which we all know they can lie and say whatever the fuck they want in any of these interviews. So people ran with it that he was the last one to contact her because that's what law enforcement said, but they lie. He doesn't actually admit it. I think he says in an interview he did with a YouTuber later, he says, that's what I was told. But no, there's still no physical proof, but nobody argues it. Like the defense attorneys in their interviews post-trial, nobody has said anything against it. Like, I don't know, where did these people come up with the fact that Anthony Shots was in communication with Libby that day? Like, we've never seen that. You know what I mean? Like, no, so nobody seems to be saying that it's not true.
So I don't see anywhere in 5 extractions where she's having any conversations with Anthony Schatz. There's times where she references the fact that she's talking to a guy that has a lot of money and is really handsome and is older and drives a Lamborghini and has a bunch of nice cars. And you could assume that she's talking about Anthony Schatz.
Right.
But there's no conversations with Anthony Schatz. So
well, we
could they
also
have been deleted?
Find out later that Bree Wilbur is in contact with Anthony Schatz.
Oh, there's several kids in that area we're talking to him.
Right.
You know, could it have been deleted from her phone? Sure. Could they? Because I'm like, where's law enforcement getting this? That like, why are they so hell-bent on that? So could be that they got that information from her or from his phone, his devices. Maybe those conversations were preserved, but that would be pertinent, I would think, to turn over for this trial. I don't know. Let's read this so we can keep talking after, but I want to eat my Cinnabons. I'm not going to do it while we're reading.
Sure. Okay. I don't even know where I am. I presume it's similar to your 2019 report. And he said I would presume so. There might be more stuff that would have been recovered. That's how we got off track. Okay. So that's fine. Were you able to recover deleted items in your extraction in 2019 or 2024?
That's where in a sense, like the wall file, there's data that's temporary. Remember we talked about the location data?
Uh-huh.
Because it is deleted, but the reason why we still have it is because it's written in the temp folder waiting. So in a sense, I recovered something that Celebrate identified that had been deleted out of the main database. It's still alive in a sense in the wall file.
In that instance, you're referring to the location data on the video
that we talked about. Well, that and the Snapchat points that are done all the way up to when they get to the trail.
Was there any other data that had been deleted that you were able to recover?
Nothing that comes to mind. Nothing that I can think of right now.
Was the phone ever in Durham, North Carolina after February 13th of 2017?
I do not know.
What did the log entries represent?
Depends on which logs you're talking about. There's different things here that Celebrate's parsed out. There's one called the Identity Lookup Service, and there's the iPhone Network Usage Service. So the Identity Lookup Service, this has to do with, let's say you and I start texting each other, and at some point, Apple may want to check and see if I'm an iMessage user or not. That's what that looked at. I don't know when Apple does it. It's something that Celebrate can see that's part of a log. What does that got to do with North Carolina?
I don't know, but what is he saying here about the video? She's asking him if stuff was deleted that you were able to recover.
Nothing comes to his mind.
Well, he says about the video. He brings it up. Were you able to recover deleted items in your extraction in 2019? Remember we talked about the location data. It's written in the temp folder.
So he's saying the location data of the video?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Sounds like he's saying that was recovered in 2019.
In that instance, you're referring to the location data on the video. And he says that we talked about. Well, that and the Snapchat points that are done all the way up to when we get to the trail. So is he saying that Celebrate identified this information that would have been deleted out of the main database, but it was still alive in a sense because of the wall file?
Yes, because it's volatile data, meaning it was getting over stuff. It gets overwritten, but it was still temporarily in the temp file, the wall file.
Why would that be about the video then?
I swore Whiffen said that it goes to the wall file first before it's written in a permanent database. Not that it would be written in a permanent database, then deleted from that, but still exist in the temp file. But whatever.
I don't. Yeah, that's confusing to me. Like, how does the video have anything to do with the deleted stuff?
Vito can testify to that all he wants to, but he didn't. His word is one thing, but providing actual, like I said, I don't know where
Because
he
they
got
won't
that
release
from. He
anything
didn't
on
get
the
it from.
Keegan Klein stuff.
Yeah, it had to have come from Keegan's stuff because it's not in any of Libby's extractions. So now, could it have been, like I said, if they got the Facebook subpoenas and the Instagram, like if they did all that, I don't know if that exists. I have not seen it. Could that stuff live in there? Sure, it could. But I haven't seen it. So up till this point, I've seen absolutely no proof that she even talked to Anthony Schatz.
Right. That's what I'm saying. They're saying it happened, but the public's never actually seen any proof of it. But nobody seems to disagree that it happened. So, but there is disagreements on whether they were actually supposed to meet or there was just communication.
Well,
because like according to Kiki, he's like, why would I meet them like that? I wouldn't meet them, and I've always agreed with that. Like he wouldn't go meet them.
I'm of the opinion, for a very specific reason, that before the 13th, like before they went to the trails that day, Libby knew of the real Anthony Schatz. Like, what's his name?
I don't remember, but I know who you're talking about.
The actual guy whose picture that shit is, like the guy, the actual person.
Mm-hmm.
What is his name? Well, that's annoying. That's super annoying. Vince, yes, it's Vince. Yes.
Vince.
Okay, so
yeah,
Vince.
Kowalski.
Yep. That's it. Yep. She knew of his existence and him being the real person. Therefore, knowing that the other account, the Anthony Schatz account, was a fraud.
Right.
And that was before going to the trails. So if she did, like if she were, in theory, to have planned to meet Anthony Schatz at the bridge, she knew that wasn't Anthony Schatz. Or she knew that the person who was on it was not Vince, because she knew that Vince existed and that he looked like the person whose pictures were stolen.
Right.
So she either knew, like she would have either knew she was going to meet Keegan or somebody else, or she was going to confront that person because she already knew it wasn't the real person. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like she would not have been going with the expectation of meeting Anthony Schatz because she knew that Anthony Schatz was not real. So there's that. And Jerry's just a fucking idiot. So where are we so I can eat my Cinnabons?
Going back
please.
to it. Hold on. We're almost done. You'll see some of that in the timeline, especially in the fun. We asked that. All the log entries on the timeline. I think you said that. Huh?
I did?
I think so, but we're gonna do it again because
no. You'll see some of that on the timeline, especially in the 2024. Then there's the iPhone network data usage, where it's logging network data usage, but it's only pulling out. Let me see if I can pull this up to be able to articulate fully what this is. This is like the in and out of data of where the iPhone is using the network and it's identifying certain apps. And it gives, in this case, this is coming out of like the WAL file. A lot of this data is. This is another thing where Apple is just collecting some data.
Were there any log entries for February 13th?
No.
There were log entries for every other day, right?
The 12th, 11th, 10th, and I think after that is like the 14th. And I don't know enough about the iPhone network data usage to tell you what it is or what it means. I don't know.
What fucking kind of expert are you? Why? Only on the 13th, there's no log entries. That doesn't seem to, nobody wants to figure out an answer for why that is?
Guess not.
Did you perform any other extractions on any other entities or devices in this matter?
Yes.
Which?
I looked at, well, it's hard to do an extraction on the Chromebook, and it took some.
What Chromebook?
The Google Chromebook that belonged to Liberty German. It took a while to figure out what the password was for that device, and it was recovered from the iPhone. It was very challenging to do a forensic exam of that. So a lot of what I did was mainly just extract stuff from it. It's just the proprietary nature of the Chromebook. Chromebooks are designed to store data in the cloud, not necessarily to store a lot of data on the book itself.
Any other device?
There were other things that were brought to my attention. I think it was an iPad that belonged to, I think, Liberty's parents, but it had been factory reset. I think there was a computer that belonged to the family. These were things that Jay Harper brought to me. Let me see what else. There was an iPod Touch, Apple iPod Touch, iPod Touch that was brought to me to examine. And then, of course, I have your client's devices that were brought to me in 2022 that I examined.
In your analysis of Libby's Chromebook, the computer, and the iPod Touch, was there anything in those extractions that were really relevant to the investigation?
No.
And when had the iPad been reset?
I don't know. I just know that when I got it, it had been factory reset. There's a lot that the investigator didn't know, that when you factory reset something that you can't get anything. So the only thing I did was took pictures to be able to document that it was factory reset.
Let me ask you this. Was there anything on Rick Allen's devices that linked him to Keegan Klein?
I don't think so. I don't remember seeing that. Anything linking him to Keegan Klein.
Did you look?
I looked. I didn't see anything.
What about Tony Klein?
No, I didn't see anything.
Abby Williams?
No, I didn't see anything.
Liberty German?
No, I didn't see anything other than like the news media. What's going on here regarding the case, to be fair.
Which is probably most people in Delphi?
I would agree. Probably most people in the United States.
And Iceland and Australia?
Right.
Was there anything on Rick Allen's devices that made you think that they had been tampered with, deleted things, anything like that?
Oh, could you imagine if his fucking devices were reset, even if they were old ones?
Oh, God. Well, that's like Stephen Stearns. I mean, like, no, everybody just sticks to the fact, like, they couldn't find that phone, that particular phone, but they found every other phone.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know a whole lot about Rick Allen. He called him Rick.
Yeah.
I just know that all of a sudden I see the guy gets arrested. Initially, all of his evidence went to Sergeant Scott Kruger. And then the decision was made that no, all this evidence needs to stay with me because I was the investigator who did Liberty German's phone and had done other things. So everything came back to me for me to do the exam. I didn't even know he was even a suspect. Again, I have blinders on in this entire case. So if there was something that I should have been looking for, obvious things, the connection, hold on, double tapped on accident. The connection between those individuals that you mentioned. But other than that, I examined them, pulled out what I thought might be important in the case based on what I know, and that was it.
Were you asked to look for anything specific with regard to Rick Allen's devices?
In connection to those two young girls, and of course to the Kleins.
But there was nothing on his devices that you thought, oh, that's weird, or why is that, or anything that kind of came to your attention?
Based on my limited knowledge of the case, no.
We take a minute?
Yes, and I want to try to find the battery saver for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So they take the recess, they come back. Ajay says you were looking at
battery saver, which went to airplane mode.
Yeah.
So for some reason, Celebrate doesn't do a good job of like putting this out into the report side. So I'm going into the Knowledge C database to see this, and this is going to be at 10:54:36 a.m. What? Okay. 10:54:36 a.m. on February 13th is when it goes into battery saver mode, low power mode.
10:54 a.m.
10:54 a.m. is what it's showing right here.
On 2/13.
On 2/13. It coincides. Fuck. Why do I keep double clicking that? It coincides with when it hits 20%. So I don't know whether the phone did it on its own or whether the user did it.
But it was plugged in after that, right?
You're more than welcome to come around and look at this database because I think it gives you a better understanding of how I'm interpreting this.
Sure. Thank you.
So when data is stored in the database, it's stored in UTC time, so Great Britain time. So I have to do the
5 hours.
Right. So right here, you see where the battery's trickling down. This is the battery percentage. You see the app in focus. This right here, if I remember, I think that's Snapchat is what she's looking at here, but the battery's going down. Here's where the 1 means it's turned on. Low power mode, battery percentage is at 20. And you can see there's some activity going on here with the device, right? Then it goes to 19, 18. It keeps trickling down. 14, 13, 10, 9, 6. What you and I would expect, what kids would do, keeps going. Backlight, here's 5.
Baldwin steps in and says, do you mind if I take, it's really hard for us when we get on these things, and if I could take a photo, then we would know later on what we're talking about right now. Ajay says when we refer back to the transcript.
That's fine, and I'll back up so you can see the time of the battery saver.
Thank you so much.
So the battery saver is right here. So I'm going to highlight that so it makes it easier for you to see. So remember, you have to do the calculation of subtracting 5 hours because this is stored in computer time on the device. Celebrate's nice enough to convert it to UTC minus 5. And then, like I said, these are numbers that are associated to different applications that are being used at the time. So you can see she's still using it. So that's why the backlit, all this stuff is going on.
So when it says 1, that's a certain application. Is that right?
No, what that means is 0 means backlit is off. 1 means it's on. That goes back up here to where we're talking about with the low power mode. So 1 means it's on, 0 means off. It's kind of like
Binary system.
yes.
Gotcha.
So that's what we're seeing here, on and off. Someone is on a different app here. It keeps going down here. Now, by this time, we're at 156. We're at 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 6 is the battery percentage. There's 5. Battery percentage is 4. And then there's a 7. There's a 5.
It goes up?
Right. So you can see it goes up.
What time?
So that would be 1825. So you subtract 5 from that. So that would be 1325. But then it goes back down to 1526. So a minute later.
Goes down from 7 to 5.
I would have to look to see if she plugs it in and unplugs it. It could happen, right? No, you stupid bastard. Well, I guess. Yeah, at 125. No, because she was at 20-something 8%.
So she still has to plug it back in. She plugs it. This is, I think, right before they get in the car. So that's what we were told, is she plugs it in at home and then unplugs it and plugs it back in the car. So I'm assuming, and I haven't read the rest of this, that that's what's happening right now. Is this is when she plugs it in at home.
Okay.
I don't know, though. Like, we haven't got there yet, so I'm not 100% sure on that. So it goes down from 7 to 5.
I would have
Okay,
to
you
look.
already said that.
I would have to
Okay.
look to see if she plugs it in and unplugs it. It could happen, right?
Uh-huh.
So it goes to 6, then it goes to 7. So now we're at 1330, 130, and now it's starting to charge.
How obnoxious are we? Thank you for being patient.
So then this is when I would think they're actually moving. I do know this negative is when she talks to, I think she has it in her phone as Daddy-O.
Right.
That would be the app where she's talking to Daddy-O. And like I said, these are different apps right here that are being used, which is the app in focus. Celebrate is not, I shouldn't say Celebrate. Apple is not good enough to say this is Snapchat. They're using this, they call it a value integer to identify that particular app. This goes right into what we were talking about in my testimony earlier, where we see this different information here.
Hey, hold on a second. Is he saying that she's talking to Daddy-O in Snapchat?
Mm-hmm.
That's what he's saying is happening.
Yes.
He would absolutely disagree with that.
Yeah.
Daddy-O would say, no, I don't use that shit. I like to call her, but she doesn't always answer, so we text.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Baldwin says, is this from the 2017 Celebrate?
This is 2024. And at the time when I did this exam, I knew there were certain things about the app in focus. I even talked about it in my report, but I wasn't quite clear of what it was that I was seeing. Now with 2024, I know what I'm seeing, and I feel a little bit more confident than I did 5 years ago.
Gotcha. Hi, Daisy asks. Baldwin says, is this going to be hard to locate? Like, part of our problem is, like, we're amateurs and we're trying to go through this stuff. I'd like to be able to do a deeper dive on our own. Is that hard to find? Like, how did you get there?
This is actually in my report here. I don't know if... Oh, shit.
Yeah, sorry, I was reading chat.
Oh.
Can you make that into a PDF for us?
I don't know if I can make it into a PDF, but I may be able to export this out as a CSV spreadsheet.
And that will also convert to Excel, right?
Yeah.
That would be really awesome if you could do that for us. Baldwin says, but what we have in that packet over there, we should be able to get to that. Ajay says, but that's raw data and you don't have the...
This is the portable case. So the case, when I go in here and I put knowledge C in, for some reason, when you go here, again, I've never really used the interface for a Celebrate reader. I've never had a reason to. I've never been on the prosecutor's side or your side to be able to have to go through. So this is new for me to be able to go over in here and do this. I just type knowledge C up here in the reader. And what it's doing is showing you all the different knowledge C events that it's finding. And I tagged, let me make sure this is the right one. Then what it does, it opens up. That's the wrong one. But I've got it opened here. But the problem becomes that it's not letting me read it. And I don't know why the reader doesn't allow people like the prosecutor and like yourself to be able to look at it. I don't know why it's doing that.
Is there like an updated reader on the disk you gave us?
So this report 7.68 is the most recent version of Celebrate. So this is going to be the most updated reader that they have.
Hold on 1 second, real quick. Okay, sorry.
Huh.
Okay, so, and the reader is included on that disk?
Yes. While you're here, I kind of want to show you what is on this hard drive. I think it's fair for you all to understand that. Of course, there's Bunner's stuff. I'm just going to go through what my stuff is, okay?
Okay.
So you see here, there's my report. There's the 2019 stuff. So this has the extraction. This is the actual raw, like what Axiom would put, or what Axiom would have done. There's the black light raw stuff. It's not going to mean anything to you unless you have these tools. Here's the gray key. You have the gray key extraction. This is the raw extraction. This is the actual full file system. And this is the memory. Now, the memory, I didn't process it because it's going to be whatever is the memory of the phone right when I turned it on to plug it into gray key. So I didn't process that because it went from being turned off, powered off to power on. Then you have your password list. You have your keychain, which has all our passwords and things that would help unlock certain elements inside of the device. The things that would be passcoded, locked. I'm trying to think of something that it would unlock. You can use this data to, like, if you wanted to access cloud data, you could actually take this token or this key to pull that data down if you had a way to pull that information down. Then you also have my reports. These are the reports that you all have here. These are going to be the 2019 reports. I'll be open with you because I think you should know this is not going to happen. I can't even get it
It's not gonna open. I can't even get it to open. What the hell? Okay. Good, Daisy ass. Good. Okay. So the 2019 magnet.
The 2019 magnet. I have a suspicion of why. It has to do with our computers are too good, and this is an old report. I'm trying to work on a solution for you because the prosecutor is going to need it as well, but I don't have a solution offhand right now.
Can I ask you something real quick?
Mm-hmm.
The 2017 extraction that Brian Bunner did, I have a 4,007-page PDF of that. I can't open anything on your 2019 stuff that you gave me. Is there any way you can do that same kind of process that would generate that report like Brian did?
The Axiom, I don't have that version of Axiom anymore.
I'm talking about your gray key stuff that you did the summary report on.
I'm in the 2019 reports. So if you go down here to 2019 Celebrate, you see that there is a spreadsheet of the entire report.
I don't have that. Is that on that disk?
Yeah, it's on there.
Okay, that'll be helpful.
And then you can see it's populating the spreadsheet. Then there's a PDF of it. And then there's the HTMLs. So you can switch over to whatever your favorite web browser is.
Could you go down to the PDF one?
Mm-hmm.
My eyesight is abysmal. Okay, great. Thank you.
So there's that one. And then, of course, you just double click that reader. I'm sure you're probably aware of this. It's automatically going to load this UFDR, which is the Celebrate portable case that allows you to go through.
And that's on that disc?
That's on that disk.
Fantastic. Thank you.
So then you go to 2024. Of course, you know the legal process. You know the photos. You've already seen them.
Right.
And then you have the same thing. You have the raw 2024 Axiom where you would need this dongle to be able to open that. Of course, I give you the gray key dump again, and then you see the Celebrate. This is the Celebrate.
Reader?
No, this is actually the little icon. So this right here will work so I can open the physical analyzer. Now the reader, I'll show you where that is here in a second. This is where I went through and tagged things, and I've saved it because I want to be able to go back through and generate a report for both sides. You guys need the report, so I want to be able to save my files. I don't want to have to keep going back through them and wasting time. So the reports, you have a Celebrate report, same thing. You have an HTML, you have a PDF. The only thing I didn't do was a spreadsheet. I find that a lot of people, I used to do spreadsheets. So right around 2020, I stopped producing spreadsheets. People just weren't using them.
Sleuthy. It's, wrong.
So I do the HTML, PDF, and the portable case. And then you go into Magnet. I did the HTML in a portable case. The PDF, every time I tried to generate it, it kept crashing and it would leave data out. And I don't want you guys to think I'm trying to hide something or anything like that. I think it's best just to give you these two. Then, of course, this report right here is something that Celebrate started doing probably right around 2020, 2021.
Is that like a one page?
Yeah, it's kind of neat because it puts some information together, puts all this account information, basically the same information that's in my report. So I provided that because I think it's something that I think you should have as well.
Thank you.
But regarding the Knowledge C, I can pull that out as an Excel. It will be something you can load into
Excel?
Excel.
Okay.
I can get that to the prosecutor to send that to you all.
Thank you so much. So, Chris, I really appreciate everything you've done today. You seem like you're very honest and have a lot of integrity. And I'm going to be honest with you. I think that the phone ran out of juice. I think it was turned back on at 4:33 a.m. And I think all of that data between there auto-populated.
Okay.
You're going to go back and write additional reports is what you just said.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you look at that for us?
Yes, ma'am. I could see if it was powered back on because there would be a log. There should be a log of that.
If it's plugged in at 0, is there a log of that?
There would be a log, like when Bunner did his exam, there would be a log of when he has it. I could see a general approximate time of when he started it.
It's at 5% then.
Yeah, I think it's at 5%. I can look at that again. Or no. I can look at that. Again, all the exculpatory evidence, especially with this new examination, you're entitled to have it.
What's all this exculpatory evidence that you speak of, Cecil? I'd appreciate that.
Yes.
Baldwin says, Jennifer is way more up on it since she's kind of taken over this stuff. But 4:33 a.m. is very... I know that you didn't look at that before. That wasn't something you focused on, and we're asking you to focus on that so that we can maybe come back after you have issued new reports or had a chance to review what's happened.
I'm going to write it down, but otherwise I'll get it in the deposition, but I want to make sure that I'm writing it down.
Ajay says, I can tell you the relevant times if that would be helpful.
Go ahead, ma'am.
Well, hold on. Now I got to find it in my stuff. Sorry.
Andy, you mentioned 4:33, right?
Correct.
And that's on February 14th?
Correct. It's a big number.
So,
Okay, Ajay says, so between 4:06:46 and 46 seconds p.m. on 2/13/2017 until 4:33 a.m. on 2/14 of 2017. That's the lack of the SMS messages.
So you're asking that when I do my analysis to include if they're all between that time frame between 1606. Sorry, I'm a military guy, and 433.
434 is when it's on for about a minute.
You're asking me to closely look at that to see what kind of behavior is going on with the phone?
Baldwin says, what explains what happened at 4:33? There's a lot of activity on that phone at 4:33 a.m. And we have what we think is an understanding of what happened, but we would like that from you to look at what happened, all that activity, and what's the explanation for how that happened. We believe, as Jennifer said, that the phone was turned on.
And you believe it was turned on at 4:33?
Ajay says yes.
Anything else that you think that I should look at just to bring attention to?
Ajay says no.
If you do think of something, you can let Mr. McClellan know and he'll get it to me.
Ajay says I will. Baldwin says you did a great job today of explaining stuff.
Where?
I have no fucking idea. Maybe all the indicators, like he's like pointing at all this stuff, and maybe I feel more confused than I did beforehand.
It's not fun to do this.
Ajay says, no, it's not fun to do a lot of what you guys do or to do this on our side. Baldwin says, you definitely explained, like, we have all these theories and then one of them you blew out of the water today. You know what? That's okay because it's the truth and that's what matters. Thank you.
Last thing, the
What?
KMLs, which is the Google Earth. You want that? I didn't put that on there.
Ajay says, yeah, if you could, please.
And like I said, download Google Earth, slide that file right in there, and it will automatically populate that for you.
I want that file.
Yeah, me too.
Ajay says, your way is much easier than me sitting there at midnight on a Saturday night manually putting in longitude and latitude.
Bro, that's totally what we would do.
I would.
KML and then the knowledge C. Anything else that you all asked me to provide?
Baldwin says, if there is, we'll email Nick.
Please let me know.
Okay, so.
And Nick says he has no questions because he's also a dumb bastard.
Yeah, I don't have any questions because he doesn't know any of this anyway. What theory did he blow out of the water? That's a question I have. What theory did he blow out of the water?
I think he was just trying to be kind. I think they treated him really well because they thought he was going to help them. Like, I think they thought that he was going to look for the truth. I think they didn't realize what he was about until he fucking Googled that shit on the stand and then also changed. See, because you have to remember, this whole 2024 extraction that he just decided to do was because they were confronted with the fact that the 4:33 a.m. text messages were there, that the phone didn't, like, that there was stuff that was happening on the phone after they said that it had died. Like, the only reason for the 2024 extractions, or whatever you want to call them, whatever he was calling examinations, is because they were trying to debunk the things that the defense was saying in their pleadings.
But he doesn't even go on the stand and actually really clarify why all of these just happened to come through at 4:33 in the morning.
Well, no, but what he did do was say, well, we originally thought that the phone was dead, but it wasn't. So it's not weird that they came through at 4:33 because, of course they did, because the phone wasn't dead yet.
But he also never indicates in this deposition why he believed the phone was dead at 10 whatever. Is this pre or post motion in limine? Motion in limine to remove third party? This is pre motion in limine for third party, if that's what you're asking me with headphones. Because that was July 30th, 31st, August 1st. I don't remember MRC saying a Faraday bag. I don't remember that. But I'm also curious, like, what file was on there that they couldn't open? Like, he's like, I'm just going to be honest with you. Like, I can't open it. You can't open it. Nobody
it was like an
open it.
Axiom thing because he says he doesn't have that. He doesn't have that anymore or something.
Why?
Did you say why?
Yeah, why?
I don't know why.
Well, I'm just saying, like, that's weird. Like, you have all these reports. Nobody has access to them. Would you ever find out, like, does anybody get access to them? What the hell was in it? Did the
I don't
defense know about the
think.
headphone jack from their expert at this point? I don't think so. I think the big thing right now is just that all the messages coming through at 4:33 in the morning, because we do hear about that in the filings leading to trial, but I don't think we heard anything about the input output until trial. Post-punk mama. Yeah, I don't think they had their phone expert yet. Eldridge, isn't that who it was? Eldridge is the phone expert for the defense. Yeah, 4:33 was big because there's like 14 or 15 messages that come through at 4:33 in the morning.
Yeah, because they were SMS messages, which means even the ones from like. So if the phone was in airplane mode.
Did Bunner get deposed? Because, I mean, really, you need Bunner's info. And I think that the prosecution does a really good job in making it so that Cecil doesn't cross over with Bunner at all. Like, not allowing Cecil to even talk about anything Bunner related, which is bullshit, but still, because you need Bunner. Because even though his info's outdated, it's going to be the most accurate off of the phone because it's not been downloaded 15 times at this point or extracted 15 times by that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't understand. I thought Auger was coming on to like get FBI info. Like she
That's what
deposed Nicole, but like other than that, what did she do?
She didn't get anything. Not that we know of. So they ended up just bringing her on as counsel, which was why Goal was confused about what the heck was going on with her, because she was just supposed to be there to get the FBI stuff. And then they're like, no, she's just going to take part in the case now. And it's like, oh, okay. Man, she was 2E. But she's definitely not tech. I don't think she's very tech. I mean, she did end up doing the tech, but I don't know. I just think of like where I would have put my money, and I just think that I would have put more money into this with Eldridge. I really would have. And more money.
It's like when Eldridge said, whose live was she on? Was it Snae's where she, after the trial, where she was like, there was activity or something on the phone after such and such a time. And she's like, I wish they would have like asked me about that, but nobody asked her about it on the stand. And it's like,
right.
So you're saying that there's evidence in there of activity on the phone that would have been like, I'm assuming user generated other than the headphones, and you all didn't talk about that before trial, that like you absolutely have to ask about this,
right?
Because it blows up the whole state's timeline.
She did. She went on Snae and she went on Defense Diaries. She did 2 interviews. I think I would have invested more money into the phone and the unspent round. That's where I would have probably stayed focused. But like there was only a few months they had the phone data. Well, they had the phone data from 2017 and 2019. The 2024 data was what they really were lacking. Your tacos, it's not Tuesday. You can't have tacos. All right. So we've been on for almost 4 hours. I'm going to hop off. I got to go figure out dinner still.
I'm going to eat my
Go eat your Cinnabons.
And then I'm going to go to bed.
All right. I'm going to go back through probably, if I have time tomorrow, I'd like to do it tomorrow. Go back and map what some of his points are and why. Try to figure out why that video is the only thing that just shows up at a random 30-meter horizontal discrepancy. Like I just don't understand that. So I'm gonna do some Ceciling tomorrow and probably map out his timeline and see what I think, if it even matters.
I would like to know more about Rick's phone data.
I would have loved to know more about Rick's phone data. Yeah.
And they didn't need his phone because they had his Google stuff. Like his Gmail thing?
Yeah, they could have got whatever they wanted just from his clouds.
Yep.
If you would.
Mm-hmm.
All right, go eat your Cinnabon. Make sure you put butter on it because that's the only way to do it. Warm it up. Oh, it's so good. Cinnabons with butter melts all over it. All right, as always, thank you guys for hanging out with us. I always appreciate you guys being here. I know you have 1,000 other places you could spend your time, and I know 4 hours out, it actually went pretty fast. And we'll be back. We'll be back to chat Delphi or something else at some point soon. So go enjoy the rest of your Saturday, and we will talk to you later. Have a good one.
Love you. Bye.
Do you dare to follow me down? Head into the unknown. Down the rabbit hole. Where it stops, no